and continue carrying on the legacy of Cambridge ESPORTS VARSITY this year too. And yeah, we're very excited. We're very excited for Red Bull for hosting us.
That as well, but I think Dave's quick as well. When it comes to it, Samir, which games are you most looking forward to? Strength, which is where Oxford lies.
I think our Overwatch team is really, really good, and so is our League of Legends team. Our Overwatch team is also being in the NFC Grand Finals in April 10th at Insomnia, so if we lose Overwatch, something has gone wrong with our varsity planning.
And same question for you, Victoria, now as well. Which games are you most looking forward to for like Cambridge's strengths lie in?
So I think Pokémon and Smash definitely are in Cambridge's favour today. Valorant is also might be in Cambridge's favour. I'm very much rooting for that because I'm a Valorant player. And CS:GO tomorrow is definitely in Cambridge's favour.
Absolutely bang of a day lined up for you guys, and listen, it's going to take the stop of this tournament. It means a lot to both these teams and universities as a whole. But right now, it's going to be Pokemon coming up now with our casters, Dan and Ariel. Take it away, guys.
Ariel today to provide you the commentary and rundown for the Pokemon games.
Yeah, so we'll be starting with the OU games, which will be it'll be Redo versus Drunk Gang. So yeah.
Yeah, got some interesting things to see what each university decided to bring today on the Gen 9. I guess it's ladder, it's not quite ladder,
Yeah.
same format at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But more just I think it's best to say this. Yeah. So should we get back to the
Hopefully we get to see all of the teams in action. You know, there's certainly some points more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can go into London later on to actually start thinking of the game for that, but I think for the most part has been pretty interesting to look over just the whole pace. Some cool items. Interesting choices, at least. I actually just want to see in general, but we'll try and do things more in the format. The format afterwards will be LC, and then we will have UGC and what we want as well later down the line. But I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. It's after this a couple of game line and battles, then we'll do one,
Yeah.
and then finishing off with big VGC.
Evaded? I don't know who won last season.
Cambridge won last year, yeah. Decisive 4-1. I can't really say I represented them well in BDSP, but yeah.
BDSP is not a format.
No.
It's not a format.
Yeah, and Luxray isn't a Pokemon.
No,
so.
it really isn't. It's unfortunate. Yeah, BDSP was very sad.
Yeah.
The way that this was done. Like, they decided, okay, we like Gen 4's good. We like Gen 4, so we bring it back to Gen 4's decks, but then we have the problem of, well, no one has movesets anymore.
No.
So it's not really Gen 4, it's like playing with Gen 4's number of Pokemon, but then you just don't get to do
None of them do anything.
Yeah. Which is really sad.
So yeah, we'll be seeing 1v1 this year instead, which should be a lot more exciting. Never know what's coming with that. Like, all of the sets should probably be really creative and yeah.
Yeah, 1v1 where you sort of you have choose 3, I believe. Oh no, you have
three in your team,
choose one.
Yeah.
For the 1v1.
Yeah.
So there is that mind game just at I guess team select for what do you think your opponent might bring, and then what you actually end up bringing, whether you have this counter sets, and then how that develops within the actual series itself.
Yeah.
Again, both players have 3 teams, I believe, for each format. So a little bit of choice in between games if they want to, or I think they can just bring the same team.
Yeah. Should be able to. Yeah, it'll be really exciting to see some cool counter sets happen in 1v1. See Pokemon live moves they usually shouldn't. See moves we usually don't. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, there's like classic. I don't know. There was that whole thing with like Cockney and Southern Leech Seed, I think.
Yeah. Have you seen the Thief Tapu Koko?
No, I haven't.
It beats Lando Eye. Thief's the Lando Eye's choice band. Oh, yeah. And then KOs it with Robo the next turn.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of weird things you can do in 1v1 as a result of that, but we'll see that happen in live time, and probably get confused at how some things are happening if we don't notice it originally. I'd imagine that's the case. At least, you know, if we come back to PoE, that's a little bit more tame in the current generation. I haven't played too much of I know myself, but what I do know is that, and what I have played, Terror is a very fun mechanic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't say I played that much OU either. Haven't been like feeding the lad or anything, but yeah, I know like I like to think that OU this gen allows for a lot more creativity with the lower picks, definitely more so than Gen 8 did.
As a result of Terror, I think.
Yeah.
Although this consequently also has the problem of making some of the higher tier mons really impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pretty much part of the reason for the bans that we've had, like Palafin, like Chiyu, like Chenpao. I don't think these bans would have come through necessarily. I mean, some more debatable with Terror, but I think things like Palafin in particular, where you're just able to break through checks you just normally wouldn't be able to, by being able to use Terror Blast and a different Terror typing is just not great.
Yeah, especially with Palafin's other tools. But yeah, no, we've seen like the fine line which like Terror and bans seem to like play on with like Walking Wake as well, not being banned, which surprised some people.
Somehow didn't get banned. I mean, I haven't actually got experience in Walking Wake because I haven't played Ladders after they released it.
Yeah.
So I don't entirely know exactly how strong it is. I'm not the one to say, but I have heard a lot of mixed opinions.
Yeah, it surprised myself, but I guess people have been running like I think like Scarfire and Valiant and stuff like that's becoming more popular now because of that. And like, I mean, Scarfire the Dragons as well, Roaring Moon. You know?
I think people just talking about Water Absorb, Clodsire, basically holding down the tier, or just Clodsire with a particular ability or whatever, depending on the matchup, depending on what's in the meta. Walking Wake's in the meta, everyone's just using Water Absorb for that immunity. You basically just do it.
Yeah, pretty. Clodsire was like a bit underrated before.
Yeah.
Like people used it when Palafin was a thing, and then stopped. But like I don't know. Like Water Absorb provides pretty much as much as Unaware in my opinion to it. I mean, I can't remember if we're seeing any Clodsires today, but
I think I did recall seeing one of the teams.
Oh,
wait a second. Wait a second to see if it gets brought or not. But no, the benefit is I think people just running on Unaware for all the setup that actually exists currently. I mean, things like your quintessential E-Speed Terranormal D-Knight, you're not DDing on that thing. Your Clod's just going to tox you and then you'll eventually get chipped down, put on the timer. But yeah, Water Absorb, of course, being able to warm onto you. It wouldn't with that weakness being turned into immunity. So I think that's pretty much the main thing with like Gen 9. I don't entirely know what like the biggest threat in the tier is now after Chenpao got banned.
Yeah, I know like Great Tusk obviously is everywhere, but nothing really seems to be that oppressive right now. Like you've got King Gambit, you've got Goldengo, doesn't change much. But Excalibur's on the rise though, of course. Yeah, one of my favourite Pokemon to use right now on the ladder. Like just Choice Band, Grenade Rush, everything.
Excalibur is one of the most, I think, interesting cases with Gen 9, where this thing was OU, then dropped to UU, then people started using it in UU, it was clearly too strong for the tier, got banned up to OU, and then we're fine. But just a few things at the moment, we're just going to hop to a short break, and then we'll be back. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the 2023 Oxford vs Cambridge Varsity. Back again for Pokemon content. We will bring you the live game shortly. Again, Dan and Ariel, but we're just waiting on a few little things for the players to get all set up and ready.
Yep, the OU game should be starting soon. Just like to make a slight correction. It's not Drunk Gang playing OU again this year. It's Frodo Dodo. So they're a newcomer into the varsity, the varsity Pokemons, and Redo has won his games the last 2 years. So we'll see how that fares.
Yeah, tough competition, at least between Oxford and Cambridge. Of course, Cambridge being favoured in the OU matchup, but you know, all things can happen. I have seen Frodo Dodo at least around the Pokemon scene, so definitely have some experience playing in the tier, I imagine.
Yeah, it'll be nice to see them put in a good fight.
But here we have the game coming through. Just a little bit of information for all of you. We have the 1v1s apparently first. So 1v1s are just where you have 3 coming to team select, but you only bring 1. There are games, obviously between games they have different teams. Each university has prepared 3 teams, so there is a little bit of variety there. Terror is actually banned, so we won't have any shenanigans on that front, at least surprises from 1v1. I can imagine it does get quite flippy with the mechanic, but it will be a best of 5.
Probably messes with the rock, paper, scissors aspect of it quite a lot,
especially when you already have to predict somewhat with 1v1s. Going into Team Select saying, okay, well, I see these 3 Pokemon. I have these 3. What am I expecting them to bring? What is my best answer to that? Terra does just completely screw that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Yeah, it's Terra seems like a much more reasonable thing in a 6v6 format. Yeah.
Yeah, 1v1 is... Yeah, it's a very, very curious format, at least. Definitely, I mean, yeah, it's not really a problem. I mean, it has a ladder, but I don't know.
It's not like...
It's not
the same in like other formats where like the viability rankings really match with other things as well. Okay, well, yeah. Perhaps we do have overused first, as originally planned. But yeah, no, overused is a much different metagame to 1v1. Like we said before, unrestricted terrestrialization. A lot more easy to build around and to like play against unexpected terrestrialization, but we will probably still see it play a major part in the games to come. Yep.
I mean, this is why the Smogon Council, OU Council, have had so much, I don't know, so much debate over Terra. We already had the one sort of, I guess, it wasn't really a suspect. It kind of was a suspect. I can't remember the specifics of whether it was called that or not.
I think
it was technically a suspect. It just came out to be that, you know, it wasn't banned in any way, shape or form. Because I think originally they were considering some sort of complex saying, okay, well, do we have some sort of reveal Terra types or only one Terra type or whatever. But no, it's still unrestricted as it currently is. But maybe that'll change once DLC starts coming out as well.
Perhaps. I remember not really liking the other like complex options they had, like reveal Terra type kind of like removes a lot, and only terroring into stab is it's just boring. So yeah, I mean I reckon if DLC comes and terrestrialization is too strong, like do you think they'll either just keep it or ban it completely?
Yeah, I think it's just one or the other. I don't really think there's in between.
Yeah.
I think now with the metagame developing, more and more people are realizing how powerful the mechanic actually is. I mean, I definitely would say it's obviously less overbearing than Dynamax has been in Gen 8. I think that's pretty clear to everyone.
Yeah.
Because Terra's actually usable.
Yeah, no,
whereas Dynamax
is absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, no, yeah, we're seeing a lot of changes in terrestrialization and like the way people are approaching it, especially in like VGC as well. Like people seem to always be like terrestrializing into the same types. We're seeing a lot of like people realize like the defensive utility of new types now. Like I've noticed a lot more like Terra Poison being used in VGC. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we see some like interesting new changes like that into unusual types here. I'm sure it will happen, to be honest. Like tournament setting, you always want to catch your opponent off guard with things like that. So yeah.
I mean, I think one big evolution with Terra in VGC, I mean, I don't know about Series 2 or just the regulation C at the moment, which hasn't developed much, admittedly, because I did mostly keep up with Series 1, so I'm a little bit out of the loop, but at least in Series 1, I remember there being like a particular thing between Hydreigons and Sylveons, where you had Hydreigons originally like being between like Fire or Steel Terra typing, and then basically Sylveons, if they were matching up versus that Terra Fire, and they were Terra Fire, they couldn't hit the Hydra, so they ended up going Terra Water, Terra Blast, they hit the Hydreigon and win that mirror. But nevertheless, the players are ready for the first game, so we should be going into that shortly. And here we are.
So we'll wait to see if this is Oxford on the left and Cambridge on the right. Should we have the teams showing up any second now?
Hopefully. At the moment, I do believe it's just the Showdown client, so just waiting on everything to get started there.
Maybe waiting for them to type /AFD off in those.
Yeah. No, it would be a nice little, a nice surprise if I got to see the special sprites from yesterday. Though I mean, I guess they might still be on. I don't know the specifics about when the AFD sprites like just close off the server. But I do remember they did linger a bit last year, so we'll see.
They were there this morning.
Yeah.
I was playing some Broken Cup with them.
Lovely.
Yeah,
they are good sprites. I mean, if you go on the Smogon website, you can find the AFD page where they sort of have the entire repository of every sprite out there. There's some fun ones for sure. I think I remember Darkspun being one of them in particular, where it's just Darkspun. It's just pure bread.
Yeah.
Bread entirely. Yeah. Which is funny.
Yeah. Have you seen the Blacephalon one? I'm pretty sure it's just like like the zebra from Madagascar.
Yeah.
It's a clown. Like it's just that.
Of course. Yeah. That makes sense.
They're so stupid.
I think Mischief was just. I remember Mischief because I was playing an LC doubles draft game yesterday,
Oh, yeah.
and it was literally just a hot dog. It was a hot dog because the colours on the things it was like a mustard, because of the
true,
yellow
yeah.
stripes, it looked like mustard. So it was literally just a hot dog with its face on the front of it. Yeah, some of them are really creative. Other ones are just badly drawn versions of the Pokemon.
I saw, like, in a draft league game, Crocodile. It's like a red croc, like the shoe, with a sombrero on it. It's so dumb. I didn't... Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. They're a lot of fun. Coming up with the new ones each year. But sometimes they change them in between years as well. So
yeah.
they get updated. And you can kind of see how everything's evolved as well on the same.
The old ones
so-
were a lot more boring. Like, all of
Yeah.
them are kind of just like chibi versions of themselves.
Yeah,
Whereas
some of
now
them are like that,
they
yeah.
have like puns or whatever.
Puns, straight memes. Yeah. I think Urshifu was like the Rapid Strike was just a stop sign. I think. There's a few. I'm just trying to remember what I can. But yeah, AFT's a fun one when it does come out. Always surprises you when you log onto Showdown and you see those like really brightly coloured random sprites coming up. But
Yeah.
still seems to be waiting on a few things for the place.
Yeah.
So not just in game yet. But no. Going back to Terra, I guess. Pretty interesting that you kind of have that evolution with Terra types specifically designed to counter other Terra types in matchups, and then the mind games that kind of brings, where you expect to pick the Terra type and then you get screwed over by that. But that's just how the metagame evolves, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. It's always harder to actually like land that in like the 66 or like ladder formats. I think like you can compare it to VGC, where like there's a lot more like polarizing threats and it's a lot more like consistent which Terra type you might want to have. Like, for example, like think of like oppressive mons we've had in OU recently, like Chien-Pao. Like Chien-Pao mostly terrored into either like the ice or the dark type, and like you could have like some counterplay to that, but like you never really know what it's going to be. It could be fighting, it could be fairy. Like it's a lot less consistent, but there are definitely cases where we might see something cool.
Yeah, I think a little fun thing I guess I was seeing in like NatDex Ubers or something was it's not a real format, by the way, not a real format, but Terra Ground Primal Groudon, not Terra Ground, Terra Bug Primal Groudon.
Oh, that's funny. It's like Ceruledge.
Yeah.
Wait, no, because it's immune to water, not fire.
It's immune to water, but it's still the sense that its only weakness is ground in this case.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing for it was just a Terra Bug for the resist with everything else rather than flying, or rather, basically, which is interesting. But yeah, I mean, in case Ceruledge is another one where Terra Bug was useful as a flash fire. Yeah. If you wanted to go down that route.
Yeah, it was interesting to see Terra Bug kind of become more popular than Terra Grass. Like, the getting rid of the water weakness didn't really seem to be as important as getting rid of the ground one. But, specialization is nice and fun.
Yeah, I mean, as we discussed, it's not necessarily the most broken generation mechanic they ever introduced. Although, having said that, I really do dislike some of the Z crystals that they had. So, I mean, it's mostly the Omni boosting ones in Gen 7, which were really polarizing.
Yeah, no.
So
seeing like Z Happy Hour come out like on something where you really didn't expect it was never fun. But yeah, it's good that we banned them all in draft. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the key. I mean, Z conversion just single-handedly made Porygon Z actually like OU viable.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that it isn't always. It can just throw off nukes with adaptability.
Yeah, of course.
But it's never been an amazing mon in OU, or at least higher tiers, outside of just being able to throw off very powerful attacks. So,
one thing I found particularly annoying about Z crystals was remembering all of the secondary effects of the specific ones. Yeah. Like the Alolan Raichu one, which like always paralyzes, and the Lycanroc one, which removes terrain. Like, I don't know any of the others, but
I think you have stuff like, I mean, I guess it's more move specific, but things like Swords Dance clearing previous stat drops if you do Z Swords Dance, or Z Hypnosis raising your speed by 1.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. But Z Hypnosis can never miss, so that's the nice thing with using that, is that you do get that guaranteed sleep as well. Obviously, yeah, you do have to use a Z Crystal for that, but on some Pokemon, it could be worthwhile.
I remember in the Into Uni Pokemon Society Draft League in Ultimate, I drafted Kyron Black most recently, and I really wanted to use Z Laser Focus 1 week, which raises your attack, but that never happened. I bought Z Hail 1 week, but I don't think I pressed it. Anyway, yeah, Z moves are fun.
Yeah, sometimes you don't always get the opportunity to use some of the fun things that you might intend on building or using with something. I don't know. I think my greatest achievement was actually winning a doubles game using Gear Up, but that was funny.
What does that move do?
It raises the special attack and attack by all plus and minus Pokemon on your side of the field by 1.
What Pokemon did you use it on?
Well, 2 Pokemon get Gear Up, and that's Klinklang and Magearna. So it was
Right.
Klinklang with Toxtricity.
Oh, nice.
Which was funny, and then I think I got a triple knockout like a later turn on one of my own mons because I had to use Sludge Wave. So which was fun. That was an achievement though because it's one of the most obscure moves out there.
Yeah.
But there are some really useless moves that somehow still stayed in Game 80 because this is one thing about Gear Up. This move was still in Gen 8. So you know Gen 8 where they cut like a bunch of moves from the game, but they kept Gear Up. Of all of the moves to keep, they kept this one,
And they
which
got
was
rid of Pursuit.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who uses Gear Up?
You apparently. But
Yeah, apparently. But I don't know. It was on 2 mons, and they keep it in Gen 8, and then, I mean, I guess they're like, oh, you know what, Toxtricity exists, so why not? Let's just put Gear Up on it, so that you can get that plus or minus boost.
Do you know if they removed it in Gen? Well, I guess there's no Klink.
There's no Klinklang, yeah. And Magearna, who knows? You know, Magearna's in the data, so
Where is it?
yeah. I actually don't. I haven't checked. So in theory, Magearna might learn it.
Yeah.
But I haven't actually looked at the transfer data for Magearna, so I'm actually not sure if it has transfer over to Gen 9. But to be honest, I kind of doubt it. It is just a bit of a useless move. I'm going to be honest.
There are lots of like in-between useless moves, which we sometimes see in draft, but like never in ladder. Like you're never going to see someone using like Magic Coat
No,
in
no.
ladder, but yeah.
I think there were maybe some counter lead sets, like very niche counter lead sets. I think on mons like a Rapwinid that sometimes use Magic Coat, but you know, very few cases.
Yeah, I've used Magic Coat Arachnid before in draft, but yeah.
What else is there? There's definitely some oddball ones that you might actually end up seeing in ladder, even if they are, I guess, more specialised.
I guess back to Z moves, the Z Mirror move. Love that one.
Yeah.
Slightly better than Z Splash.
Oh yeah. Splash. What a move. Does nothing.
But Z Splash gives you plus the attack.
That's true. Yeah. It does give you a big boost. They never made a physical tail though. Actually.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if they made that and then distributed it as something.
There's lots of like setup moves which like theoretical ones which could exist, like a special Dragon Dance. Like imagine if that had distribution. Like Quiver Dance obviously is insane, but like not many Pokemon get it.
Yeah, I mean, we all know we've all lost a Terra Volcarona at some point. I think, at least lately. Volcarona honestly just has been getting better with regeneration at this point. I mean, I guess I had a bit of a dip in Gen 7, but with Boots last gen and now with Terra now, just becomes
crazy.
more and more of a monster. And then it's funny how everyone thought that, oh, you know, Volcarona might be the worst moth that we have now with the 2 Paradox forms that came with it, but
It's way better than Slitherwing.
yeah, might turn out to be the best one, even still with just the changes.
Yeah, I mean like with Boots and Terra, I mean there's obviously another Pokemon which is massively benefiting, which is Dragonite. Getting better every gen as well, pretty much. I mean look at it in Gen 1. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I had fun in Gen 1 with Rap, I guess. And then I'm not entirely sure about the whole... I mean, it kind of fell off between Gen 1 and then getting multi-scale in Gen 5. And then fairies were introduced. So I think Dragonite's kind of had like a bit of a shaky road as far as viability is concerned.
Yeah, it was pretty good in Gen 5, but it's been kind of like in 6 and 7.
Yeah. I mean, rocks will do that to somebody. When you have such a great ability, but then it gets broken by rocks, it's a bit awkward. But now with Boots, you don't have to ever break multi-scale and can just roost back up to the threshold. So that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually I got Dragonite and Volcarona in a speed draft recently.
Oh yeah.
And Iron Bundle. I won it. But yeah.
I was also playing a speed draft recently where I drafted stall, but with Volcarona on it.
Yeah.
With Terra Volcarona, which is funny.
Oh, we're starting.
But we are here. We are in with the OU matchup, and looks like it's turn 3 with an Ndidi already tearing Fairy into a nasty plotted Zorok.
I wonder what the Zorok was disguised as.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe
it doesn't
doesn't seem
actually.
like we'll know,
yeah.
but yeah.
Oh,
the Shadow Ball reading the switch out of the Ndidi.
you won't get weak armor off of this. So this Armor Rouge is just this Armor Rouge is just gone.
Yeah, pretty much. And there doesn't really seem to be a good switch into the Zorok.
Yeah, I mean, there's no use for it. 1%. There it is. Armor Rouge down. Already 6-5.
So here comes in the Cinderace, which may force out the Arm Rouge. No, force out the Zorok, given its speed tier. Nerf does seem to have a Rotom Wash in the back, so if that has some kind of defensive spread, it may be able to take the Cinderace pretty well.
Yeah, it just
here
depends on
comes
if whether you
Rotom.
want to U-turn on this. Nope, takes the Pyro Ball instead. 21%. I think that's just regular. I don't think that's banded damage
Yeah.
to me. It depends. I guess it depends on the Rotom spread. Rotom's historically pretty low on the health.
So you see the Protect on the switch there. Ultimate obviously would have been Volt Switch. Would have been funny to see the Will-O-Wisp on the switch, in case he forgot, but yeah, here we have the Glaive Rush into the Corviknight. Not much damage at all, and we see the Rocky Helmet damage, giving about as much damage in return.
Yep. Looks just probably to be DD based off of that as well.
Yeah, I really don't think that's banded.
Which is probably for the best here. I mean, you do sort of have to switch out, but this is an absolutely free U-turn for this Corviknight. There it is, going to whatever you want to deal with the Cinderace. I mean, you do have a faster Mon in Roaring Moon if you wish to go into that, but I don't think you can get kill threshold, so back to Rotom Wash.
So we may see the Protect again, but doesn't seem like we will. Probably Volt Switch coming out here to give Redo the momentum from the slow Pokemon.
Yeah, always risky though if you decide to do that into Great Tusk, so it decides to opt for the Hydro Pump as it is the safest move to cover everything. However, backs now with Rotom Wash down, a little bit of HP, can opt for a few things. Decides to,
Yeah, not choiced, so we see it get a small setup there.
I think DD was pretty much always the play on this front because you're not breaking Corviknight if you decide to click any move into it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So at least with this you might be able to get a little bit more damage off. Icicle Spear probably coming in. Yep, there it is.
And is this loaded dice? I mean,
Yeah.
probably based on that.
I mean, now you do have a problem because, sure, your Terra is gone because Indeedee's already been used, but that is a +1/+1 backs.
There is a
With-
Breloom in the back, which we may see come out here.
I don't think you kill at 62 unless you're banded. That's my issue.
Well, they are scared of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Terra Fighting would actually deal with the situation, but Indeedee is the perfect switch in this position. So now it's really a question of whether you can make sure Circuit Terrain's up for the next time that you have backs in, as it really does look like it completely solos Redo's team right now.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll wonder if we see Redo switch here, because offensive Bloom should be faster than a defensive Indeedee, but probably too scared of just being one shot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Psychic within Psychic Terrain will just knock out Breloom here, not a particular Pokemon. Clodsire is a fairly decent switch in, even if you do take the Psychic. We'll take a Dazzling Gleam instead, absolutely eating that up.
Basically back to full. So yeah, back to Caliber will be a small problem here, but it's definitely like not impossible to stop it from setting up again. Looking at Redo's win conditions here, I mean Roaring Moon is faster than everything and throws off big hits, but I do think the Great Tusk is still at full health.
Yes.
So that should be able to stop it pretty well. There's a Rourke as well, has a decent speed tip, but Cinderace is still about. And I think that Poltegeist still has what's probably a Focus Sash on it. So Poltegeist may be threatening, but again, with a full health Clodsire. Well, stored power probably does a lot, especially in the Circuit Terrain.
Doubles back into Roaring Moon on the Psychic. You have an option now. I think if you are Ironhead, you should be able to take out this Indeedee here, as it has Terra Fairy. Ironhead actually does cover for most things, just not the Tusk or the Zorok. Tusk comes in, there's the U-turn.
Predicting the Tusk, yeah.
Making sure you keep up offensive momentum is just pretty much the name of the game here. As whoever has that right now is basically in control of how the game is going. Psychic Terrain now slowly getting stalled out, but Tusk, again, just going to get forced out by Breloom. Bullet Seed will do likely too much damage. You can't really KO the Breloom in return.
Oh, it's...
I take it back. That is a very offensive Great Tusk.
Yeah.
I think we're not expecting that to be heavily speed invested, actually.
Yeah, I was not either.
Yep. But yeah, Great Tusk with, I think, 87 base speed, if I remember correctly. With Breloom having 70, so if you are a fast Tusk, then you will outspeed these Brelooms, but generally you don't see that very often. They tend to be more defensive, but now with that information, you do know this Tusk probably won't be able to take moves from the rest of Redo's team very well, although...
Bringing in Clodsire is interesting here. Perhaps he thinks it's choiced.
This is confirmed Zoroark.
Oh,
because of the HP percentage.
Yeah.
Since the Clodsire was on low HP, there it is. I don't think that crit mattered.
No,
That's an offensive Grey Tusk. At -1. Cinderace does come in and force this back out. Question is, what move you want to click? U-turn is probably just absolutely no risk play. Neither Roam Wash nor Clodsire can actually do anything about that. They're just... Well, I mean, Roam Wash is in 50, and Clodsire kind of just lets them on set up for free. So.
Yeah, Balloon going down there was really damaging to Redo's plan here.
It's all good anyway with Psychic Terrain in the game because of the fact that you can get that blocked. Really nice read though onto the Roaring Moon here, because now you're actually being able to force out Cinderace. But I feel like you can't keep playing this U-turn game forever. You actually might need to throw off an attack soon, because at this point, what do you go into? You go into Zoroark Hisui, which is not awful. There's the Throat Chop read, and that should be a Poltegeist KO. Oh, actually, wait, with
the Sashed weak armor, it's kind of threatening back. Although, well, Psychic Terrain's gone, but there's also no more priority on Redo's team, so...
I don't think Poltegeist gets any coverage for this one. I mean, admittedly, it will get chip onto Roaring Moon.
True.
And that is, if it wants to get chip onto it, yeah. There's that Terra Blast, try and get as much...
The normal Terra Blast, yeah.
I mean, that's normally what Terra fighting, I think, on Poltegeist.
Probably.
But yeah, this Indeedee Armory archetype was really, really fun to see it come out, because this was originally pioneered in UU. With two variations, you could do Trick Room Armor Rouge or just the weak armor one, as I believe it is here with Focus Sash. And people just realised it's a pretty good offense team because you just keep on bringing in another threat, and then with Terra, it's just really hard to play around that.
Yeah.
You do a lot of damage, so...
Yeah, it's definitely been a play style on the rise, and then again with another Pokemon on the rise, Excalibur, really a team which really showcases the interesting things which are happening in OU right now. So yeah, there's the Dragon Dance.
I mean, this is unaware. Yeah, there goes that Toxic Excalibur now on a timer. So it's just a matter of actually being able to stall out the game. As long as you do so, then Vax won't be a threat. We're going to take Ice Spear, sacking Roaring Moon. Actually, no, sacking the Zoroark even.
Yeah, really, I'm not sure there's enough turns for Toxic to take it out before it gets...
You have Protect from Rotom.
Oh, that's true.
So, I think, looking at percentages, Tox should kill in 2 more turns. So you should be fine. You do have to DD here on the Protect, but you do you basically just lose Rotom to Bax.
And probably going for a double Protect.
Double
and
Protect
he gets it, yeah. And there's the bites down.
Yeah, very nice to get a double Protect. You get that extra sack now, at least. Or even just Rotom being able to fire off a move, potentially. I think Indeedee right here being the only one that can actually KO it. Although, yeah, no, Indeedee should outspeed because this seems to be a defensive Rotom spread. So yeah, Indeedee comes through here, prevents priority. Not that there is any on Redo's team at the moment, but question is, what move do you click? Probably just the Dazzling Gleam, as it covers for the most options.
Yeah, can always press a Psychic move on Clodsire afterwards, and Clodsire can't immediately threaten you back. But we'll see.
But it's just going to be a matter of 50-50s though, because if you Psychic on the wrong turn and then Roaring Moon comes in, you have a bit of a problem. I'm not entirely sure if Dazzling Gleam actually kills Rotom from this range though. So one of the issues you have is if Rotom gets a Volt Switch off here, they just get into Roaring Moon for free anyway, and then exert immense pressure on your team. But it's actually just not at all over for Quirky Turtle here. Yeah, it doesn't kill. And there's the Volt Switch. So that's about what move Roaring Moon clicks. I think the only move you can do to hit this would be, I mean, this is Throat Chop U-turn, likely has Dragon Stab, so seeing as it is constantly coming into the CD, I do expect it to have Iron Head, but of course Cinderace does resist that, so yeah, there's the Iron Head. And that should pretty much be game, as I'm pretty sure Clodsire should solo Cinderace if it comes down to it. Although this Royal Moon is faster here, the only thing that Cinderace can do is the Sucker Punch.
Royal Moon probably coming back in. Oh, Clodsire. Yeah, Clodsire does 1v1 it, so.
Oh, actually, wait, the burn's going to change things a little bit. Burn means that you only get the chip down to 48. Okay. Royal Moon should just be able to come back in and KO this, however, at least at 48%. So, wait to see the roll here. Okay. There it is. Redo taking the series 1-0. Very close, actually, coming down to the end of it, but that is something that happens with this sort of a very offensive format, though, at least for the most part.
Absolutely.
With the small health bars and rocks being able to pretty much just chip you down into ranges, and also now with berry juice not existing in general in LC, it's become a lot easier to just basically just try and pick up KOs.
Yeah, we see lots of like hyper offense team styles. Rain is very popular. Lots of focus sash. That's generally the way Little Cup goes.
Yeah, Rain plus I think things like Nimble, even with strong priority of Tinted Lens, just means you can't really resist that.
Yeah.
But no, it's basically Little Cup can be summarized in good hazard control and keeping up offensive pressure. For the most part, you just can't really run defensive teams on Little Cup. It doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Because Mons just take too much damage because of the health numbers, and also funny Little Cup rules. Another mechanic with Little Cup is multi-hit moves, because the way it's calculated, they just end up doing far more damage. Although we have the next game, and it looks like
we have April Fool's Day
some
sprites
AFDs.
on.
Yes.
What's that one on the back? The stall?
That's a Glimora.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it must have been like some sort of hazard setup shop or something like that. With the toxic debris. The Glimora was a cool mob.
Yeah, it looks like we did have a Glimora Garchomp lead in that game there, both probably trying to set up hazards early on.
Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting one on Terra actually available, because Glimora normally would just get, I mean, it depends if it was Air Balloon or not, I'm not sure if that was revealed.
So we see the Garchomp set up the Stealth Rocks, and then Goldengo probably coming in, well, I mean, it resists both of Glimora's stabs and can prevent it from Mortal Spinning to remove the hazards.
Okay. Mega Rain comes through, that should just KO this. Okay, brings it down to Sash instead.
And do we see an Earth Power here? Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Not knocking out the Goldengo as well.
I mean, admittedly the Goldengo's chipped, and most of the time you're fine with Glimora going down very low. Second comes out here. Admittedly, this does allow Goldengo to get a recover off if it's not a Specs variety. Or Specs or Scarf variety.
Which Specs Slowking is fairly common, but we do see a Baxcalibur in the back, so this is probably a chilly reception Slowking. But we do see the Goldengo switching out. Thunder Wave, cutting Dragon Force speed in half, that must be massive. Now being slower than the Baxcalibur and easily being one-shot by either of its stab moves.
It's setting up really well for Redo right now. That's probably the best target you could have possibly gotten that paralysis onto. Severely neutering Dragapult there. Still gets the momentum off of U-turn, but if this is a chilly reception that comes through, it just goes straight back to Redo.
Yeah.
Now you have to sort of think about whether this Goldengo is Scarf or not. The Scarf Mega Rain is something you have to consider, but I think Arboliva can actually come in here for free if you want to. That's actually a fairly safe answer to this, because it doesn't really take too much with its high speed F and is immune shareable. Because if you decide to go Tusk, you run into an issue of hard Baxcalibur instead.
With the heavy duty boost,
take
damage.
Okay,
Ice Shard, not
Shard, yeah, sure. Actually, yeah, from that range, Ice Shard will kill. I forget that this Mon actually still gets that move. It's not always run, it is often run, but some people opt for the extra coverage instead, because you have to run DD dual stab, generally, and then you have the option of, well, do you want EQ as part of your Terra options, because there's a lot of Terra ground Baxcaliburs as well to be able to get that coverage, or do you want the priority in the Ice Shard?
Yeah.
King Gambit instead going to get a Sword Stance up on the Switch.
But it is, well, it's at full, but if this Great Tusk is carrying a fighting move, it does scale up the King Gambit.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
it
that
does
flying terror.
terrestrialize into a flying type.
Yep, just covers for pretty much everything that King Gambit wants. Terra flying him has been pretty notorious within OU. As of late, and even in VGC, in fact, just less so because you don't want to Terra it as much, but it has generally been the go-to Terra choice.
So Redo using this opportunity to remove hazards probably doesn't have much to deal too much damage to this King Gambit with, and it's much too risky to switch out. Getting rocks up.
Yeah, Rock's the safest play there, because if you attack, you can easily get sucker punched in that scenario, so just make sure you have hazards up for the rest of the team. Sets up for later on in the game. Now the question is what you have to deal with this Goldengo, because if you look at the rest of the team, Goldengo kind of just solos it.
Yeah.
Backs can't switch in. Slowking also can't. I mean, all of them are weak in some way except Our Believer, but Our Believer doesn't have coverage to hit a King Gambit very easily.
Bax potentially threatens with Ice Shard, but I don't think a boot set is KOing from this range into Mon's bulky's King Gambit.
Yeah.
And Sucker Punch probably just KOs by Excalibur.
I'm not sure if it will at +2 straight up, but at least King Gambit will take 1 plus the. We'll take 1 hit and then KO back with Iron Head at least. There's Sucker Punch into Goldengo. Nice little trick there on the Choice Scarf. Means that now this King Gambit is locked into Sucker Punch. Actually, no, it's not quite how it works. So
Locked into whichever move
clicks this time. So.
I feel like it can just attack if it's carrying a dark move which isn't Sucker Punch. Comes to the Glamora sack into the Caltar Cleave.
Yep, Bespins do get 1 layer of T-Spikes up. There is no poison type, so something will be getting poisoned on switch in most likely, if they are not boots. You still have this threat on the board though, so Goldengo coming back in, you know that this King Gambit is faster, however, and locked into Kowtow, so I'm not entirely sure of the goal there. Apparently it's still not faster even after the Choice Scarf, but it will knock out the Goldengo. Taking 3 Mons already.
Yeah, we do see King Gambit putting in incredible work this game. It's no surprise to see how it's like risen to number 2 in the OU usage stats. But yeah, here comes the Ice Shard, knocking it out. Finally the threat is gone.
Yeah, fortunately Redo still has Terrestrialization plus Backscalibur left. Cinderace shown to be boots. Court Change could be really problematic here potentially, but you are probably boots on most of these ones. I'm not sure entirely how much it matters outside of removing hazards, but
the Dragon Dance comes out, which is very threatening.
That's the one problem about going with the Court Change on that turn instead of an offensive move, is that Vespax has now got a 3DD up, and with that Dragapult having been weakened by Paralysis, yeah, this Glaive Rush is just going to straight up knock out Cinderace. This might actually just be game.
Yeah, it's faster than everything else.
Yeah. You have Terra available, you can click any move. I think Terra Glaive Rush, I mean, you don't even need to search for Terra Dragon.
Yeah, I really doubt
Ice.
that.
Actually, Ice just kills everything. Icicle Spear with loaded, no loaded ice even, but
yeah,
just Icicle Spear straight up. Or Ice Shard in this case. Yeah.
Safe in case it's Scarf. And then I really doubt Great Tusk has the left side terrestrialized. I don't think so.
They've
they terrestrialized King Gambit, of course.
Terrestrialized the King Gambit.
Yeah.
So
Great
Tusk can't go into defensive typing for this.
Yeah. So it's probably just going down to an ice move here.
Why I'm interested to see is what this last move though of Backscalibur is, because of that Ice Shard. If you opt for Ice Shard, sometimes you have to say, okay, I'm not gonna go with, there's the Terra Ground. I was expecting something like this with the Ice Shard available, but it doesn't matter because it does lift the 1cc. And with Great Tusk at -1, you are absolutely fine to just click whatever move you like here.
For sure.
I mean, this is part of the power of Terra backs. You either use this ground Terra to be able to have the extra coverage, or be able to get up a DD/live a move, like in this scenario you otherwise wouldn't be able to live. And Glaive Rush going to take the KO onto that paralyzed Dragapult. Another win for Redo.
Yep, 2-0. The first set goes to Cambridge. Yeah. So yeah, well done.
Yeah, pretty close game 1, game 2, maybe a little bit less so after the after Baxcalibur came in. Kind of just shows the power of Terra though, because what happened was you had King Gambit using SD and then Terra, and then taking up 3 Rotos Mons. And then Baxcalibur coming in, getting a DD up, and then eventually Terraing to live Great Tusk, and then winning the game.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that court change turn was really unfortunate, allowing the Baxcalibur to set up and basically just win on the spot. So, yeah.
It does make sense to go for court change. It is the better play to make if they do decide to switch back Excalibur, but then you kind of have the dilemma of, do I just lose the game if I don't click something like high jump kick into this moment there?
Yeah, if it was carrying high jump kick, that would have been quite. I guess perhaps they thought that they would be scaring out the Excalibur
with high jump kick.
Yeah, in which case, the court change would have been like pretty huge. But yeah.
Which is why maybe there is a question for Redo as to whether you just Terra that turn anyway.
True, yeah.
Because if you Terra that turn, you don't die to HJK. You always get a DD up in that scenario, and that's probably all you need. Having said that though, I guess 1 DD is not enough to kill the Great Tusk, so then I guess Great Tusk comes in, lives a hit, and then you lose your back. So could have definitely come down to be very closer, much closer if the Cinderace decided to go for a move that turn. But here we are.
I was thinking the Arbaliva in the back was quite scary though.
Yeah.
Once Cinderace was down.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because Polka hit it, it's paralysed. Garchomp was weakened and doesn't generally carry any coverage for Arbaliva.
And I do think the Arbaliva was actually holding a choice for X.
Yeah, it was.
So it did have the power to break through pretty much everything which was left on the team.
So not necessarily a guaranteed loss if Baxcalibur were to go down. But yeah, back to Little Cup.
Yeah, so I think both of our players will be playing from home for this difficult game, but we should see just as exciting gameplay as usual. So yeah, like we said before, hyper offense is pretty big, so we should see some mons going down left and right basically.
Yeah, I think some of the bigger mons in the format. Quaxley is one of the best rapid spinners in the tier, which is important for Hazard. We get the speed afterwards as well. Has access to Roost for recovery. So a pretty reliable hazard remover on that front. Things like Toadscrawl being able to provide pretty good offensive pressure with its speed, as well as access to Spore, of course. And then mons like Weasel in manual rain teams being able to break past things with its new Wave Crash. So a lot of fun new tools in general.
Yeah, no, with the rain teams we do see a lot of funny things. Like, of course, it's manual rain. You have to rely on Shroodle with its pranks or Voltorb with its speed to set up rain. And there's lots of exciting things which can happen.
Shroodle in general actually has been a pretty excellent Pokemon. Little Cup with that 75 speed tier. Very, very important in LC because it gives you that 18 speed, which is higher than the very, very overcrowded 17 speed in Little Cup. So you get a guaranteed outspeed on all of those Pokemon, which otherwise would just result in a 50-50 speed tie, as Little Cup is notorious for. And plus you have Prankster with Parting Shot and utility moves like the Rain Dance in this case as well.
Of course. So yeah,
Just double check the players for the teams quickly. We have, for LC, we have Ari on Oxford, and we have Hazel on Cambridge.
So yeah.
Yet again.
And here already starting, and here we see the rain team with the Shroodle and the Breeze, like you said. And on the other side we see a Glimmet, which I believe is the highest special attack stat of anything in Little Cup. Also another new Pokemon providing a threatening offensive presence.
Yeah, 105 special attack. Abra and Solosis have the same stat, but they are not in Gen 9. So it is only Glimmet in first place with that above 100 attack stat. As for this matchup, very interesting because on the one end you have Manual Rain, but on the other side there is a Surskit with Swift Swim and a Cacnea with Water Absorb. So Weasel has to be really careful. The Rain has to be very careful in general with how they want to play this, because that Surskit actually has a lot of potential to be able to fight back with rain coverage, as your only water resist is your Weasel. You have Psyduck as well as water resist, but the dilemma with Rain is always that when you set up Rain and the enemy has a mon with Water Stab, is that they can abuse that. It looks like we're going to get a lead match of Voltal versus Surskit, which is Voltal favored due to the stab difference.
Yeah, and also Surskit being such a key component of the opponent's team in this game.
Now the question is, that is definitely Surskit, not the Zora. That's something we have to watch out for, but webs do go up. However, Toadschool's in, and okay. The problem here is I think you are almost always forced to go into Zora.
Icy
on the
Wind
spin, Icy Wind, okay, goes for the knockoff, predicting the Zora.
So the Sticky Webs probably will remain up for now, as Surskit can easily threaten a KO until Toadstool here.
That's a really good read there to make sure that you keep your webs up, otherwise you end up losing a lot of momentum. Only problem is your Surskit is going to 5%, so you do have to bear that in mind. Icy Wind missing doesn't matter with the Terror. Hazel just trying to ensure that webs do actually go down. This ends up being, I think, for the most part, a success for Rain, because one of your biggest problems is not only gone, but your webs, you prevent webs from staying up.
Sure.
So now you don't have that speed issue. The only problem is that you've used your Terror on this Toadschool at 24%.
Yeah, probably not going to be seeing much utility throughout the rest of the game. And there is, like, although Surskit is down, here comes Cacnea is still a bit of a threat here with the Water Absorb. Hazel will need to play smartly to get through that.
Yep. Toadschool is faster, but Cacnea has the Sucker Punch in its arsenal. If you like getting knocked off, goes for the Sword Stance.
So Cacnea should be easier to pick up a knockout on as long as the +2 can be played around.
Yeah, it's just going to be difficult because Cacnea is a very slow mon. Actually very powerful offensively, surprisingly. I mean, Cacturne is as well, has the same issue of being frail and slow, except that Cacnea in LC is comparatively less frail. But there's the Trailblaze. Now this is a bit scary. Depends on what the trio has. Because you can Parting Shot out on this. Encore doesn't do anything.
Wait, is Cacnea not a dark type?
Oh, it's dark, yeah. Wait, so actually, it's because it's grass, dark Prankster isn't even going to work on it.
Yeah. So unless Strudel is carrying a poison move.
Yeah, Strudel should be carrying Gunk Shot, but the problem is Sucker Punch just KOs you from this range.
But they do switch out.
Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe Cacnea isn't a dark type. I could have
Maybe
sworn.
not.
Let me check this, because otherwise this Encore makes 0 sense.
Yeah. Maybe she just forgot. Is a common thing.
No, it is actually just pure grass. Okay.
Okay.
So yes,
Encore would have
I'm not
been.
sure if I would have went for Encore though. I guess you're scared of being toxic, which is why the Glimmet came in to prevent that. But there's the Parting Shot. Glimmet does also cover for the Gunk Shot play if you decide to make that one, but getting momentum into Glimmet here has a few options you can have. Glimmet, crucially, unlike Lamora, doesn't actually get grass coverage, so Weasel is actually somewhat okay to come in. Toadschool instead going to tank that Power Gem, is also faster and can threaten with Earth Power. Oh!
Isn't faster.
That is a Scarf Glimmet.
Yeah.
There is nothing else to that, unless there's some weird speed stuff, but it just seems to be Scarf to me. This Toadschool has base 70. Glimmet, I think, hits, which means you hit 17 speed in LC. Glimmet, I think, hits 15 speed, if I remember correctly. So unless that Toadschool is extremely bulky, which is very unlikely, but if you hit 17 speed, you want to be able to make use of that 17 speed tier. So very likely to be Scarf.
Yeah, especially with the with carrying knockoff and removing the items which can be so crucial in this regard. So we see Hazel opting to send in Strudel here, probably to set up Rain or some other kind of utility rather than the Pawniard to resist. Yep, here comes the Rain Dance and living the Power Gem. Probably going to be a Parting Shot out here, bringing the Glimmet down to -2, and for Hazel to start using her offensive threats.
Yeah. I mean, at that point you're locked into the Power Gem still, but you're not going to do much damage here. Question is what you want to go into, or if you want to go into one of your 2 offensive threats immediately, let them get chipped slightly, which can be a worry into carrying a Sucker Punch always, and Meowth also having access to priority. Technician Fake Out, Technician Walk Attack.
Here comes the Psyduck.
Okay, Psyduck now having the option to Nasty Plot if they desire, or just opt for the Water type move. With the Rain up, you will outspeed even the Scarf Glimmer here as well. And anything's going to KO it. You do still have this Warp, yeah, that's the Warp Absorb.
Yeah.
This is always the worry with this team, is whether you expect this to come in or not. Because now what did you do? Psyduck, let's see, does Psyduck have the Ice Beam on this set? That is really the question, because this Cacnea is knocked off, and with Ice Beam, if it is available, you might actually be able to pick up a KO even versus 96%, but there's the Sucker Punch!
With the Terra Dark, but that still doesn't pick up the KO, but it does allow it to lift the Ice Beam.
Yeah, but this is the thing now. So now you have, I guess, a non-Ice Weak Cacnea that's still immune to your Water Stab. Yeah, that's second Sucker Punch. So it goes down. Cacnea really proving itself to be a bit of a problem here in this matchup.
Hazel not opting to go for the Sucker Punch mind games with the Nasty Plot, just allowing Psyduck to go down, if it is carrying Nasty Plot.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worry. I mean, Sucker Punch does have limited PP, so one of the better ways to play around it is just simply to, I guess, pivot around to different threats. Although Weasel now coming in again. Okay, so the thing is, if you stay in for Sucker Punch, that's fine, but then you lose the Cacnea basically for chip into Weasel, which is not necessarily what you want to do. But at the same time, you don't really have a good switch in, so.
Yeah, the Oran Berry does bring it up back to quite a lot of health. However, Meowth in the back does still prevent Breeze from doing anything at once. The Glimmet coming out here though, I think it's slower.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it just is, isn't it?
This is Scarf Glimmet, but I don't think it should be outspeeding Weasel, because +2, Swift Swim gives you +2, and then Swift Swim gives you +1. Weasel is naturally faster than Glimmet as well. So unless this is a very, very speed uninvested Weasel, this Glimmet is not going first. I mean, the question is, do you expect Weasel to kill? But if you've got Wave Crash, then it's absolutely killing this Glimmet here. And you know for a fact that it's Scarf on the side of Hazel. So yeah, just not entirely sure what the plan was there. I guess you do get 32% chip plus T-Spikes, so I think it's probably just trying to play for Meowth.
Yeah, perhaps the Meowth is carrying only Fake Out. I'm just trying to get into range with chip, but yeah.
You do remove the T-Spikes though. Rain is however gone. And Meowth is faster than everything but the Voltorb.
And the Voltorb probably is carrying Rain Dance as well. Yeah. So Rain isn't completely gone for Hazel's side.
Yeah, just your most reliable setter is gone, but I guess in this matchup here where you still have, well, where Voltorb is still faster than pretty much everything else, you're fine. Fortigenex Swords up versus Crabrawler. Crabrawler does, however, have the better speed tier, 67, allows you to hit base 70 as well. I believe that's 67. Pawneer does not actually have enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, so Pawneer really doesn't have much to threaten Crabrawler at all right now. But then again, there isn't really much for Hazel to switch into either, especially if she hopes to get Rain back up.
I don't remember if this thing has close combat or not. I'm not sure what its best fighting stab is actually in this generation. I'll have a look. It may actually just be.
Oh, the Pawneer is faster.
Oh,
it goes to the Iron Head. Drain Punch does bring it back up to 81%.
Okay, that seems to be. I think either I'm forgetting my speed tiers, or this is a very slow Crabrawler. I will check that now. I am forgetting my speed tiers. Crabrawler is just shy of being able to hit 17, so it's actually a speed tie. Yeah. So that's a case where the Pawneer just won the speed tie. Not that it mattered too much. You did get a little bit of chip onto the Crabrawler, but being healed off of, with Drain Punch is fine.
Yeah, probably going for the flinch there with Iron Head, which would have actually had to win 2 speed ties in order to get the situation different to this one. Okay,
Voltorb now. You have 2 options. Oh, misses the
Thunder.
It's not what you want to see. Liquidation there. That probably defense drop. Ah, static. Okay. This is a funny situation. The static could really put a bit of a spanner in the works for Oxford. Because any static power on this thing is just potentially just game. Okay, so Volt switching into Weasel, resists liquidation. It's gonna still take a lot. No, paralysis!
No move comes out from the football.
Oh.
This is tricky.
Okay.
However, I do think the meow from the back is quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah, because Technician Fake Out, Technician Stab Fake Out is still doing a very sizable chunk to the Voltorb. Has Terra been used? No, it has been used. It's on,
Yeah,
it's on the
both
Cacnea,
sides,
yeah.
yeah.
Terra's been used on Cacnea. So that's not an option. It's just clean Pokemon.
With a bit of power luck thrown in.
Yeah, pretty much. Wave Crash will probably knock out anything that comes in there. So, yeah. Ops for Wave Crash. 32%. Fake Out should kill from this range. It's a Weasel without Eviolite. Unless you have Protect, which is unlikely in just regular ladder singles. There it is, Weasel going down. Relying on Voltorb to win the game with Thunder, basically.
Do you think that's in range of Fake Out? There is a sack in the back, so...
I don't know, Voltorb at 45 is, I think, more reasonable. It is Life Orb Meowth, though. It depends. If this Voltorb is, I actually don't know if this Voltorb's Eviolite or not. If it's not Eviolite, then it actually might be in range. Well, Thunder Missing is just gonna... cover as well. Okay. Yep, that's the game. Definitely have the counterplay to the Rain team here. I just don't think you can bring that team for game 2 again.
So yeah, I wonder if we'll see... Yeah, we probably won't see any rain next game, but we'll see what happens. You know, I reckon the Voltorb may have been Damp Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, what you needed to do there was you needed to hit a Thunder, and then get the Thunder power.
Yeah.
And then they have to get powered.
Yeah. Or crit.
Or crit.
Yeah.
Because it's Life Orb Meowth. Those were your 2 outs. You got neither of them. Although having said that, I don't think you Oko, Hisui, Zora either. So you need to do this twice.
Yeah, and it was already a situation which was only really gained by paralysing Kabula. Really tricky matchup for Hazel right there.
I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, there were a few moments where you were kind of put on the back foot with having to use your Toad School Terra like that. I think just having to use Terra Steel defensively to remove rocks on a very low percent Toad School was a big, big problem. Well, not rocks, sorry, webs. Because now you don't have the offensive pressure that you could put out, or the defensive utility of being able to say, okay, well, I'm going to click Wave Crash with Weasel, but I'm either going to Terra into water to be able to do more damage to you, or Terra into a typing that allows me to live hits, I otherwise would not be able to live.
Yeah.
So I guess it'll be interesting to see what the adaptation ends up being for Game 2, which team will be opted for into this matchup, and whether Oxford decide to bring another team rather than this one, because the thing about something like this is like, okay, well, if I bring the same team again, it's done pretty well, but this was into Rain matchup, which this team seems to be designed to have answers into.
Yeah.
If they bring something else, now they know my sets, they have information on me, so I don't really want to give that away.
Yeah,
so it may just be a case of seeing 2 completely different teams.
Yeah. I do expect that to happen. Although there did seem to be some kind of modes in that team which weren't really seen. Like Zoro didn't come out at all, as far as I know, and like Sticky Web didn't come into play at all really. Yeah. So into a team which is particularly weak to Sticky Webs, we could see something. Oh, but Hazel wants to go. We have the exact same 2 teams again.
The salty run back, I think, is what we call that. Interesting. So I guess this is a matter of both players now having full information of what the other intends to do. But now it's just a matter of actually being able to play around that correctly, which is going to be difficult.
Yeah, so like Hazel has a lot to adapt to based on how last game went. But then again, the other team did lose their Surskit early on, which we did expect to be quite significant to Hazel's team. So perhaps we'll see Surskit putting in some work here as well.
It's just how much you value that webs in the end. I do definitely see it, but one caveat with webs is that Pawniard gets a +2 for free.
For sure.
Which means it can start firing off +2 boosted Sucker Punches, which none of your team appreciates really, apart from the Crabrawler.
Yeah.
So that's always a risk you have to take. You now also know this Glimmet is Choice Scarfed, so playing around that should be slightly easier also. The Choice Scarfed Glimmet doesn't seem to really do too great into this matchup specifically.
I'd imagine Havel's probably quite worried about Zoro last game because we didn't see any Zoro mind games before.
No. Yeah, something you have to be careful of. I think particularly really for rapid spin, that was the main thing. That's why Hazel decided to opt for not spinning turn 1. Because if you spin turn 1 and they go into Zorua, you block the spin, you can't kill the Zora, Zora outspeeds you. Well, no, it's a speed tie if they're not scarfed. Zora has access to Icy Wind as well, so you're in a very similar position. But no, it seems like that might have been a mistake with the teams, and we are going to get two completely different teams.
So we see Hazel now with the Nimble and the Quaxly, which we spoke about before, and the opposing team now bringing the Pawniard and the Toadstool, which we saw on Hazel's side before.
Yep, two Pawniards, 2 Glimmets, pretty normal.
Yeah.
2 spinners as well, Toadstool, Quaxly. Pretty much just the big spinners of the tier. I mean, everyone's running those ones instead of defoggers because obviously the nice thing about spinners is that you aren't actually weak to Stealth Rocks, which obviously are the most prominent hazard in the game.
And the default in your prime types, yeah.
Yeah,
So
also having pretty limited distribution in LC in the current tier as well.
Looking at this, Oxford's team doesn't seem to have much for Mudbray, I don't think, as far as I can tell. I mean, Shelder can KO it back, but not much can take an Earthquake. And from on the other side, Toadstool seems to be fairly threatening, but then again, Magnemite is too. Like, Mudbray can take the... Oh, wow!
Well, that was a very, very interesting turn 1 there.
Yeah.
Straight up getting the pickup with Mudshot. I guess taking Oxford by surprise there, although this is actually a fairly common coverage move, so I guess playing a bit more risky on turn 1. Although nothing really wants to take a Mudshot, so I think it's probably just a risk you have to take in LC. So the problem is that, unlike in regular formats, well no, LC is still a fair format, right? But because it's level 5, your mons are so weak to just getting chipped down and you can't really recover stuff off, so...
Yeah, even a 20 base power move like that can do significant damage, especially to Magnemite, which is quite poor special defense as far as I know.
Yeah, well, obviously it's being fired off with Glimmet as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Having a pretty high special attack stat.
So here comes the Toadstool with the good special defense, I'm assuming. Probably scaring out Glimmet with the ground type move.
Yeah, outspeeds Glimmet if it's not choice scarfed, which we just don't know that information yet, as Magnemite is, I believe, naturally slower. So
we could see the Toadstool opting to set up hazards here, placing Glimmet to switch out, not wanting to risk it, but we'll see. Potentially knock off as well.
Yep, Toadstool having access to spikes as well. We're going to go for a Spore.
Putting the Nimble to sleep. No longer being threatened by its strong bug moves.
Something has to take it. Probably is the best to go onto Nimble here, actually. I'm just looking at the rest of the team. Glimmet can put out a lot of pressure. Just going to take it, okay. Sure, try to burn sleep turns, but it's just a matter of, like, you don't want to switch and then lose momentum. But now you're in a situation where Sleep Clause is now deactivated because your slept mon goes down, so whatever comes in now can actually get spored if you don't actually threaten out the Toadstool or KO it.
And not much seems to be able to outspeed and one-shot it on Hazel's team as far as I can tell.
Yep, so both sides in a pretty even position, to be honest, but Toadstool got +1. +1 speed means nothing's outspeeding it either.
But of course, because of its ability,
yeah,
Spore is going to be going last.
Yeah, I mean, this is entirely why they gave us Famous ability. They gave us Mon Rapid Spin plus 100 base speed when it evolves. Would be
it'd be insane.
Insane to have Spore at that sort of speed. Especially in VGC, it would just be a nightmare to play into, to be honest. Because you don't have a Sleep Clause there, you just literally put everything on the board to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be an absolute menace.
Quaxly is an interesting option to go into this because you do actually get threatened out by grass moves. But what have you revealed? You've revealed knock off Rapid Spin. And you likely have Earth Power. There's the Power Whip, and you're going to get KO'd by Brave, but that's going to knock out Quaxly in return, so ends up being a 1-for-1. So again, both players in an even position.
Yeah, four of us for all at full health.
Right, again, these sorts of turns are always interesting because you have that sort of situation where you don't know what mon both sides are going to bring in. So depending on what comes through, Glimmet versus the Larvesta is very Glimmet favoured.
Absolutely, yeah.
So Lavesta is naturally speedier, but you can't kill it, so Pawniard's going to take a power gem instead, but chip on Pawniard's always pretty good. Mudbray can actually come in here, I think, for virtually free every single time.
Yeah, I do think so.
Very bulky mon, stamina.
And now that all of the ground, well, the one ground resist is gone, Earthquake is pretty much completely free.
Nothing can really threaten you that badly off the top, so yeah, Mudbray comes in, as expected. Stealth Rocks go up. Okay, I'm not too keen on that play personally. I don't really see Stealth Rocks exerting too much pressure onto the rest of Hazel's team from Rayquaza, because nothing's actually that weak to it. And I don't think there's any sashes.
No.
So not doing any damage at all to Mudbray is a bit questionable in my eyes.
Lowering its speed, so I mean, I don't know Shelder's speed tip, but now Shelder should be able to scare it out, but Larvesta comes in.
Yeah, Mudbray is naturally faster than Shelder, so, well, Shelder ends up being quite fast after a Shell Smash, obviously,
yeah.
but without that, it is actually not that fast. Mudbray has surprisingly got this like weird middling speed tier.
Yeah, I did think a Will-O-Wisp would be coming out there, and a Rock-type move, which Larvesta now survives. Probably Shelder coming in here, I would guess. Because there's not really many opportunities for it to set up left or
if you bring it in versus anything else, it's just going to take too much damage, I think. Because the problem is Glimit's hitting on the special side, which is not something you can handle. Okay, they're going for a Stone Edge miss.
Which is also sensible.
Yeah. Idea is you don't want to lose something for free. So just trying to Morning Sun off the damage. 8 PP on both sides. It is a winning trade because this is a burnt Stone Edge. You basically have to crit the Stone Edge, and obviously with a 20% miss chance, yeah, it's not a line of play that I would be willing to take if I were piloting this Mudbray right now.
Yeah, I would probably be switching out because we do see the Steel Terror. Red.
Okay.
No Chesterberry.
The problem with the Steel Terror now is that he died at UQ.
Yeah.
So is this rest talk? That's what I'm interested in now. Is this Edgequake rest talk? Because if it is, this might just solo the rest of the team. Because you can't switch into okay, the Shelder has to have Hydro Pump basically.
Yeah. Is Shelder more from special or physical in this regard?
It's mixed.
Yeah. So here comes the Shelder.
It is rest talk.
Yeah. Just takes.
It can take Mudbray's attacks very handedly, because obviously it's just got very high physical defense stat, but...
Potentially would have been potentially a 2-hit KO by Earthquake there. But we do see the Mudbray.
This is the problem, because you decrease the Mudbray's speed, so now you might just die.
Yeah.
Because what would normally happen here is you take the EQ first, then you get the Shell Smash off, so you live on like 20%, but because the Mudbray's slower, you actually Shell Smash first and you get the defense drop.
Yeah, although it was probably over at this point anyway because of the Water Terror on the Mudbray.
No. I mean, I don't think Rock Blast, Rock Blast is not doing any damage to Mudbray with stamina. Because you can only hit this thing from the special spectrum with Hydro Pump, so Water Terror does actually just steal the game. There's nothing that can be done about that. Yeah.
So this is now 1-1 between Oxford and Cambridge, and will be sided by the last game.
Yep, Rest coming in really clutch edge when the Bulldogs couldn't do anything. I don't even think EQ, EQ is 52%, that's the same as Morning Sun, you can't actually beat this even with Morning Sun. You run out of Morning Sun PP before EQ, this is... I mean, it's pointless at this point, you might as well forfeit, I guess they're just playing it out to play until the end, but other than that, this game is over. Man, Mudbray just ended up being far too much of a threat once Toedscruel went as a resist. Literally nothing to stop it. And I mean, this Mudbray here could even take the Toedscruel Spore. I actually really like... I see the value in the rest talk here, especially in this metagame. With Toedscruel being one of your problems. So you can come in, tank a Spore.
Keep talking on the Spore again. But yeah, rest talk did come in very nicely this game. And there's the crit. Wait, no, not a crit, just no burn.
Yeah, no burn. Yeah. Alright, evening out to 1-1. All comes down to the third game now. Both players still have one more team left in their arsenal. Whether they decide to bring that or not is a separate question. Arguably, if you're Oxford, you could actually bring back the first team if you wanted to, because I actually think that's a pretty good matchup into this, especially the Mudbray. You can deal with the Mudbray fairly well, I think, between Surskit and Cacnea.
I think that'd be sensible. I do know that Hazel was fairly confident in her Rain team going into this event, but maybe less so now that she's lost with it. But we will see what happens in the last game.
I think it's just partly just the counterplay. I think that team just seems very designed. I mean, obviously because Rain is actually a good team on ladder anyway, so it's not like somehow they managed to get the counter tech to the team. But I think it's just more unfortunate that both players decided to lead with matchups. Well, Hazel decided to lead with the matchup that didn't do as well because the other team had techs to deal with Rain, which makes sense.
I wonder if Rayquaza was scouting Hazel's account on ladder.
Yeah, that's actually possible. That is actually possible. Although, having said that, if you don't upload replays, you can't scout that easily.
True.
So, if you did upload replays, then sure, you might be able to find out a little bit of information.
Also pretty sensible to ladder on ult if you're preparing for it.
That's also true, yeah. But, you know, depends on how much you're thinking about winning the event or not.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh, you know what, I'm just laddering on LC for fun. Yeah, sure, I have an event to play, but I just want to play LC ladder. But yeah, sure. Ults are definitely the way to go if you are playing like a really serious event and you don't want to get found out. So. But no, last game has been the closest series so far. Not saying that we've had much to go by because we've only just watched OU.
But we do have many more games to come after this. So.
1v1s, I believe, after the LC, but we're going to get the run back from Hazel and a different team on the other side.
Yeah, so we see some Pokemon we haven't seen before, the Greavard, the Watchrail, both new Pokemon. I haven't seen the Greavard sprite before.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
I like it. He's just bobbing around. It's Campbell. Just wants to follow you around. Does not get last respects, unlike its older brother Houndstone. So will not be houndstoning on the entire enemy team as a result. Still, however, has access to Fluffy and Will-O-Wisp, making it actually a really good defensive Pokemon and a pretty good Mudbray check as a result of that.
Yeah, I really doubt we'll see Mudbray putting in as much work this game as we did before, unless we see early Greavard knockout.
Even still, with Rest Talk, you can avoid that. You can avoid that burn.
Yeah, although probably still never breaking through due to the Fluffy. I do think Watchwell has potential to do quite a lot this game. Mudbray not having the best special defense as far as I know, won't be able to take its flying type moves that well, and I don't see any other thing which can take an electric move on Hazel's team. Not very well anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to worry about Volt Switch, but Hurricane will do a lot to Mudbray. It's just whether Hurricane always being that 70% accuracy, not what you want. Lead matchup will probably decide quite a lot of the game, actually, as is common with LC, because of the momentum. Just waiting on players to decide. I mean, Limit generally pretty comfortable lead in most situations. You can also go with Watchroll if you're on Oxford here. Good speed tier, speed ties with the Zora, which is the fastest Pokemon on Hazel's team, and outspeeds everything else. So, yeah, there's a Watchroll. I do not remember if you got information. Okay, I will double check this Magnemite speed tier, but I'm fairly sure that Magnemite is actually slower than the Glimmet, and that you don't know if this Glimmet is actually Scarf or not.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Magnemite's particularly fast. Probably going to be seeing...
Yeah, Magnemite is naturally slow. So
unless this Glimmet is Scarf, we're probably going to be seeing a Volt Switch out here.
It's just whether you want to take that risk on the first turn, because you would lose Watchroll for free, basically.
Pretty much.
And then the only thing that can come in afterwards is either... No, it's not even your England, because you're not taking Power Gem 2L. You could do that and then opt for, let's say, Mud Shot. But realistically, you just have to go straight into Pawniard afterwards, which doesn't really want to take the speed drop. I mean, actually, no, if you take the speed drop from Mud Shot, you get a Fine Proc, but no, it's not Scarf. So 45% on Glimmet.
So probably a Power Gem coming out here from the Glimmet.
Either that or Hazards. I think those are the two ways you can go about this. Watch will probably just be heavy duty boots, though, I imagine. Maybe less so in LC. In LC, you're less inclined to be able to run that. So it could still be either like getting rocks up early could be good.
Yeah, we know it's not Life Orb, which is probably another option for it. For LC Zapdos.
That is basically what it is.
Yeah.
Although, having said that, it does get less coverage. You know, think about like a Gen 6 Zapdos where it gets like 0 coverage.
Yeah.
Except that it does actually get Hurricane, which is very important. Not having to resort to the hidden power flying as it did in both Gen 6 and Gen 7.
Yeah, very depressing. Although Watchful does also have the electric community, which is quite nice for it.
Or competitive if you're playing into Intimidates, but there aren't too many Intimidate users at the moment.
True.
You might see Maschiff, you might see Growlithe, those are the two main ones, the two dogs, but Maschiff also really likes using Stakeout.
True. Stakeout's such a good ability.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, Maschiff hits 18 attack in LC as well, which is really juicy with Stakeout. You basically just annihilate something if they decide to switch out on you. Can force a lot of damage with Choice Scarf sets where if you just outspeed them anyway, you're like, okay, well, either you get a revenge kill or something else is taking like 80%.
So on the switch out to Glimmet, we see the Sludge from here doing very minimal damage. Now, I wonder if the opposing Glimmet is also carrying Mudshot, because it seems that we only know that one threatens the other one offensively, but both have the potential to get a passive zone.
Then we have the problem of the fact that it's a speed type.
That's true as well, yeah.
So it's, do you want to take the 50-50 coin flip? Well, that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, very awkward situation. We have the Terra into the Ghost type,
double
Terra on both sides,
and
the
then,
Power Gem
yeah,
just knocking
Power
out the
Gem winning
Ghost
the
Spirit.
Both Terras used, unfortunately, this is very favourable now for Oxford because you still have the Terra available on Glimmet. However, with it now being Grass type, actually it's not a terrible thing because it resists Mudbray, but it does not resist First Impression, and the team does not in fact have a good First Impression resist at all.
Absolutely not.
I mean, even if it is resisted, Tinted Lens just means it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. A U-turn could be coming out here as well because First Impression is just that scary, and Hazel does have to win this game to win overall, and there's the U-turn, doing pretty significant damage into the resist.
Yeah, you're naturally slower than Glimmet actually on Nimble. Actually, wait, hold on. You're 50. No, you're actually the same speed too.
Right.
It's a speed tie between Glimmet and Nimble, but I think you always, as you say, you have to take the U-turn in this position because you are behind. And if you are behind an LC in a position like this where you don't have Terra, enemy has Terra 6-1s up, it's not going to look good. Going to Pawniard here on Lavasta. Pawniard has access to Rock Slide, so you can KO this. Try and get a surprise KO there. I guess that's the concept coming through, or unless this is actually Zoroark. In which case,
that would be quite bold.
Yeah.
Bringing it into a Pawniard.
And it's quite bold in general bringing it into Lavesta, I guess, outside of taking Rock Slide. So.
Oh, the Zoroark is on Cambridge side.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Zoroark. Went for the Will-O-Wisp, dodged. Shouldn't really matter too much. Zoroark doesn't actually get punished off of the Willow. Well, yeah, it was the safe play, but then you actually do live that Rock Slide as well on Lavesta. But now +2 Shadow Ball is nuking anything that comes in.
Yeah,
Pawniard can come in on that.
Considerable damage. I don't believe that Zoroark has much to hit Pawniard otherwise, though.
No,
does
it
it
doesn't.
Focus Blast?
Actually, I think it does on the Focus Blast.
That's
Terra Blast. Yeah, okay.
Probably intending to be Terra fighting, which would have been absolutely huge if she didn't decide to go for the Terra on the turn with the Glimmets, which is unfortunate.
I mean, nice thing in Terra Blast is it is still it's still stab. So when you're not Terra'd, it's still an 80 base power stab option. Still weaker than Hyper Voice, but what can you do? No, it doesn't get Focus Blast. I believe the Zoroark does, but not the Zoroark. So you'll get knocked out by Suck Punch most likely. Maybe no, Zoroark probably doesn't have the bulk to do that. Yeah, go straight into Nimble. Suck Punch fails.
Now probably threatening a First Impression here. Lavesta can come in and later heal off with the Morning Sun, potentially.
Lavesta's actually a really good switch because of Flame Body as well. That's something that we didn't think about earlier. The one risk you take with U-turn into Larvesta is, because you are Life Orb, you know this, yeah, Larvesta comes through. Do we get Flame Body Burn?
35% and no burn.
Yeah, this thing, looking to probably just try and Morning Sun this off.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, I believe it's a speed tie. But this Larvesta seems somewhat defensive, so it may not actually be a speed tie. To the point where, if you don't know the speed of this Nimble, which is very, very likely to be max speed, actually sometimes it's Adamant, so maybe not, might just be Adamant max. Yeah, doesn't want to take the risk on Larvesta. Goes for your turn.
Doing very minimal damage to the fluffy Greedbot there.
That's Tinted Lens for everyone. 17% on Tinted Lens. Very little. Okay. Revive Southern Poniard will have to eat Dark Stab before. Okay.
This is all.
Oh no. Oh no. This is the power of Zora, pretty much. It's in cases like this where you're threatened by one of the mons, you just kind of have to make the judgment call as to whether it's Zora or not.
Yeah.
And here's Zora getting another +2 up.
Although there wasn't, I don't really know what the best play would have been into knowing it's Zora there. Potentially just hard switching to Pawniards.
It's basically just hard switching into Pawniard. There's nothing else you can do. Greedbot now going down. This really opens up Mudbray as well now. With Larvesta weakened, Watchful unable to take a Stone Edge. I mean, you come in here and you probably just have to switch out on a Sucker Punch.
You can see a very big player deciding to predict the another move instead of Sucker Punch, but
yeah. It's too risky because it seems like Zora is one of your best win conditions here actually as well.
Yeah.
Just being able to, you get one plot up and something drops basically. Something drops, so you do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
The more you weaken this Pawniard, the better basically.
yeah, it would have been too risky from both sides.
But as we said, Mudbray looking very, very juicy now. Makes the double into Nimble. Okay, there is actually a legitimate argument for just saying I'm going to click first impression into this thing and wear it down.
Because you just want to be able to press Earthquake later on.
Yeah. But at the same time, okay. The question is what? Yeah. So there's just a side go for chip. You die to anything. Yeah.
This Hurricane hit.
Now you get momentum. You can run a speed tie with Zora, or you could just go Mudbray, which lives any one hit and can throw it back with Stone Edge. That's probably what I would just do.
I keep thinking that the Zora in the little corner is a Larvesta. The little spikes look so similar at the corner of my eye.
It's kind of got like the shape as if the little what do you call it? I guess it's tufts of hair, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
Like the spirity tufts, because it's like red on the tips with the regular one. But Pawniard comes back in. This is actually Pawniard this time, so I think we have information on the Zora's HP percentage. Actually, no, wait, I'm wrong. Well, actually, no, it could still be Pawniard with Terra Blast, but I think that is Zora actually. So I don't think Pawniard should actually. No, it has to be Zora because of the speed type.
And Terra Blast has been revealed as Zora anyway.
Yeah.
It's quite rare to run Terra Blast and 2 Pokemon on a team.
I am just mistaken. I mean, looking back at it, I guess Pawniard was a somewhat safe switch, but what's the likelihood you're actually running Brick Break for opposing Pawniards?
True.
So probably not that many. I mean, it's probably legitimate tech in ladder, but I'm not sure. Pawniard has issues fixing 4 moves, so having Brick Break as a tech option to deal with any Pawniards it comes at a cost.
Sludge from the Glimmer's an interesting play there. I really don't know what that's trying to hit.
No, me neither. It seems to be a completely useless coverage tool because the only thing it hits literally is Quaxley.
Yeah.
Whereas Power Gem does the same thing, but it also hits Zora.
Yeah.
So you lose your Glimmer now. Pawniard comes in, you go for a Sucker Punch. I almost feel like you have to SD on this turn.
Yeah, I feel.
Because I don't think there's another out. The problem is, even if you SD, I don't think there's an out.
No.
Your Terra's gone. Mudbray's on full percent.
Yeah.
Lives any one hit you take. Okay, you SD and you go for Iron Head Flinches.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's I think that's how you win this from this position.
And there's still the opposing Pawniard as well. very tricky position.
But I think at this point you could say you don't have to go. Okay, they go for low sweep. Oh yeah, sorry, they had low sweep last game. I remember.
And there's the forfeit.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's 2-1 to Cambridge in this set, and that's 2-0 overall. So Cambridge will only need to win one more format to have won the Pokémon Varsity then.
Yeah, I mean, tight game in the end. I mean,
Yeah.
you actually really on the back foot after having lost your Terra very early in the game. You got a free kill. Oxford got a free kill on the limit. They used Terra. Terra's gone. You got a free kill. You're up 6-5 with your Terramon on basically full HP.
Yeah. But Hazel really did utilise the important momentum that is in Little Cup to get Zora in as much as it can to like basically just tear up the enemy team. Very well played, I think. Yeah.
I mean, this is actually really just showing like how good Teaser and Zora actually is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Compared to regular Zora, Zoroark, in both cases. It's just that typing. Having free immunities and being able to disguise yourself as mons that would otherwise threaten like opposing mons, and then saying, okay, well, I can get a nasty put up on this and then threaten you back. It's just that strong.
Yeah, we saw regular Zora have some usage in Little Cup Bulger after it was still legal, but that was like, it was very much like a niche to like deal with like something which is so threatening. But the fact that like Hisuian Zora has like such like a vast like capabilities in Little Cup, yeah, it's a really impressive Pokemon, I think.
Also, normal ghost coverage just hits most things for neutral.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pawniard, of course, is one of the exceptions to that.
Yeah, but we did see it carrying Terra Blast, which is almost certainly fighting.
Yeah. It does seem like the only Zora check in the World Cup as far as my memory recalls. But we have a slight order change, so it will be 1v1s next. And it's another best of 3, as last tournaments have been. It will be a best of 5, as games will be a bit quicker because, well, it's 1v1.
Yeah, very few turns in every game. So yeah, I hope we do get to see because like of course only one Pokemon comes every game, so we probably won't be able to see every set. But I hope we really do see like a range of creativity from the players coming in.
Yeah. Should be fairly fun to see that come through. I should check actually if every player has built 5 different sets of 3 for 1 year. Yeah, they have built 5 different sets of 3.
Yeah.
So the possibilities are endless, so to speak.
Yeah.
If you bring one team and you only bring one mon, which is what happens, then you still have 2 of the mons that are unrevealed in terms of their actual sets when you go into the next one. So I think out of all of the series so far, this probably has the most mind games in between games.
Absolutely. Especially like with the ability, like I feel like in 1v1 the ability to bring the same team has like a lot more impact on it as well than like bringing it before, because it's like if you bring it 6v6, it's going to be quite similar, like the way you want to approach it, whereas like in 1v1 it's completely different basically. Yeah,
just because, well, you only bring 1 out of your 3. It's just the general principle behind that.
Yeah, and for these 1v1 games, it will be Empoleon from Cambridge against Gang from Oxford.
And of course, just going back to the start, Oxford do need to win this if they want to stay into the running for being able to win the Pokemon section of the 2023 Varsity. So definitely going to have to be bringing that in.
Yeah, I do believe that both of these players have both taken part in the Varsity event before, so they're both quite experienced, and yeah,
should be hopefully. I mean, to be honest, the series have been, despite Redo 2-0ing OU, it has actually been fairly close.
Yeah,
I would say
all of the games have been quite close, I think.
At least at one point. I mean, you go back to the last LC game, you have Oxford being in the lead for the most part. Of course, it went to 2-1 win in the end. And in the case of Redo, game 1 for OU was very, very easily losable, depending on decision making. And then you have, again, a similar case in game 2, where if you don't court change and you go for the iGym kick on the Cinderace, then it might be a very different outcome as well.
The Baxcalibur did seem to clean that game, but like the King Gambit was very scary early on and did tear some holes in Redo's team, which required some good play to work around.
So I think just off of these last two formats, I think it would be quite refreshing to not have to think about Terra for 1v1.
That's very true, yeah.
Because as we did foreshadow, Terra has been pretty impactful.
Yeah.
I would say has been pretty impactful in the game so far.
Yeah. Terra and Rambats would be quite interesting, I do believe. But Terra and VGC, if we do come down to that, if it's 2-2 at the end, will be a lot less of a thing, considering we have open team sheets. For VGC, the opponents will know each other's Terra types and every Pokemon.
Yeah, that's the fun part about VGC, at least with the formats they've done. I do love how the Pokemon Company recognised that Terra might be a problem like this, and they were actually like, you know what, for our competitive format, we're going to change the rule set so that you can actually see enemy Terra types beforehand.
Funny that they never did that with Z moves.
No, they never Z moves.
Considering how ridiculous it was, the opponent could just throw out like a super powerful coverage move at any time they wanted. Yeah.
Which I mean, Gen 7 was like my break from competitive Pokemon, so I never got experience in Gen 7 during Gen 7. So I've only played it after the fact. So I don't know. I don't know the metagame that well, but from what I do know, it wasn't the most enjoyable VGC format for a lot of people. Because of Z moves. Well.
Gen 7, I basically only ever played UU. It was quite enjoyable.
I'm sure it's still like, what was like the most impressive thing about Gen 7 UU?
I can't really remember what the most impressive thing was. I remember just finding it like fine. Like there was a lot of Cobalion everywhere. It's the only thing I won't remember. It was absolutely
Cobalion has been like the most quintessential UU mon since its release, I think. It's been UU every generation since Gen 5 that it's been in a game. Has not, I don't think it's revealed as Gen 9 it probably is coming in future though, because we have Paradox Parisian. So I don't see. It'd be weird if you don't actually have it returning. But maybe with the moveset changes in Gen 9, maybe it actually won't be UU, but I somehow doubt that.
Yeah, I don't really see it getting like any significant change. Like there's not really much it could lose.
No.
Like it's gonna keep rocks, it's gonna keep T-Wave, it's gonna keep its stab moves. Like
I mean, most of its key moves are actually TMs, which are still in the game.
It'll keep Volt Switch.
Volt Switch, Taunt, Stealth Rocks, Stab, basically, so you're fine actually for most of what it wants to do. CM still in the game, still gets SD. But here we are, first game of 1v1. That is Iron Leaves, Great Tusk, Skeledirge versus an opposing Tusk, Sylveon, and a Spalfra.
So obviously the sets are very important in 1v1. Some Pokemon may be able to beat other Pokemon which they may normally not. Like earlier we were speaking about that type of Koko-Landorus interaction. But it does seem from the beginning that there are it's quite clear which Pokemon can deal with other ones. So Espatha is good into Great Tusk but not so much into Iron Leaves and Skeledirge. Iron Leaves is good into Great Tusk and Espatha, but less so Sylveon, I reckon so. Especially if Sylveon's carrying fire coverage, and Iron Leaves doesn't really get much to hit Sylveon back on the turn.
Gen 9, Sylveon does not get Mystical Fire.
Does it not?
It is relying on having to use Terra Blast Fire, which it cannot do in this case. It's
It's
actually a really big nerf to Sylveon in Gen 9. Because otherwise people would have been running Mystical Fire in VGC when they were running Terra Fire Sylveon, but they were still running Terra Blast. The mon doesn't get it this gen for some reason. I don't know why. They decided to remove it from Sylveon, despite it being one of the best things it got out of Gen 8.
Yeah, that's really odd, because in Gen 8 they gave Mystical Fire to so many Fairy and Psychic type Pokemon to give them a way to hit Steelers.
Still on Hatterene, I'm pretty sure, It's just not on Sylveon anymore.
Does Hatterene learn it by level up or something?
It might be level up. So I think it's just not a TM anymore. Or at least maybe it was a TR, I don't know.
Probably a TR. Is generally the case with Gen 8 coverage.
But yeah, it's very rock, paper, scissors-y. I guess that's the only way to explain that. Here we are, Iron Leaves versus Tusk, which is pretty Iron Leaves favoured because both boosters. Actually, hold on.
Tusk is faster.
Tusk is faster was okay. What can Tusk do in this situation? Does Ice Spinner kill speed project?
I really don't think it does, unless it's banded.
This might be a one-tone. This might be a one-tone game, folks.
Iron Leaves Leaf Blade probably one-shots Great Tusk.
Your core drive attack,
Unless it's really bulky. Because Great Tusk's physical defense is absolutely ridiculous.
Combined with its, both its physical defense and HP are 131, I think.
I think its attack is
Ooh.
131.
If you crit, then it's over. Okay.
51. Yeah, that wouldn't have killed. Like, yeah.
Okay. Do you live an Ice Spinner? I think is the... Okay, so you're
Second
going for
ball
+2. If you crit, you win 16%.
That's a very odd decision.
Head smash.
Well, that didn't kill him. So, yeah. First game goes to Oxford. That was very funny.
I wonder what the head smash is for now. I'm trying to think about it.
Head smash does less than Ice Spinner.
Yeah.
By just a little bit.
Because I'm thinking, if you want to cover for flyings, then surely you go Ice Spinner anyway.
Yeah. Knockoff killed.
You know,
No, wait, no, it didn't because boost energy is consumed.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
Knockoff 65. Yeah, so no.
It's
Head smash does
97.5,
more.
Yeah. Wait, no, head smash is 150 base power.
Yeah.
So knockoff is. Oh, well,
No,
okay,
because
knockoff
was
was. Yeah, knockoff 65.
65.
Yeah.
So it's 130.
Yeah.
So head smash is more. But then you have the 20% accurate. I guess you have to just try and go for as much damage as you can.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested to see actually what the head smash is there for.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Spinner covers more flying types. I guess you get the power out of it, but what if you're into a Corv? Like bulk up Corv, then what do you do?
Yeah, like head smash isn't doing much. Like you just bulk up
And you take
alongside it.
recoil.
Yeah.
So sometimes if you don't kill with head smash, then you take recoil before, then you just lose.
I really don't know what head smash hits, which CC doesn't. Or Ice
What is
Spinner.
there in the meta game that this actually is, and ground stab considering that as well.
Yeah.
I'm actually really struggling to think of something in the Gemini meta game that actually doesn't appreciate getting hit by that.
Are there any bug types? Maybe air balloon is common.
Air balloon could be something, yeah. I guess you hit air balloon users, but then you're looking at basically bugs. No, not even bugs. You're just basically looking at what? I guess air balloon on things like King Gambit, right? But then King Gambit just dies as CC.
Yeah. And takes nothing else now.
So what's running air balloon into getting hit by head smash? It's gonna be like a fire type, or what
Yeah,
fire type?
Cerulege, I think is fairly
Air balloon,
common.
Cerulege, I guess.
I think that's fairly common. I
Yeah.
think Cerulege I've seen in 1v1 before, and there's Skeletorge on the team, but like knockoff hits them both.
Yeah.
Like I suppose both of them you just want to knock off twice rather than.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's an afterthought, I guess, to have a think about actually the thought process behind building it.
I do appreciate the head smash though. It's a hilarious move.
This reminds me about facing. So I mean, speaking of War stuff, I mean, one of my games there was I was playing versus Choice Banded Head Smash Hydreigon for some reason.
Oh my god! Wait, it gets it in Gen 6. Oh, I guess it's only significant after Mandibus got
Yeah.
yeah.
Which I was really confused about because I had Excadrill on my team, so every time it came in, I could, and it clicked Head Smash on something and locked itself into Head Smash, I would just go into Excadrill and get a free Sword Stance on it.
Yeah. It's 4 times
Which to me made zero sense why you brought this into a team with Excadrill.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you lock yourself into this move, you're screwed. And I was more confused as to why they decided to choice band it.
Yeah.
Because I was sat there like, there was one mon on my team this move is used for, and that's Tornado's Furion.
They could just be DD, and then they can EQ your.
Doesn't get it in Gen 6.
Oh, does it not?
But if you click Head Smash with Expert Belt versus Torn T, you're killing it anyway.
Yeah.
So why do you need to run Banded to lock yourself in? So I don't see another coverage type that would be more worth. I guess you want more damage on Crunch maybe, but it was I think one of the most alien decisions that I was just trying to wrap my head around why you would build that when you have full information of what you're actually playing into.
Could I say something funny which happened in my most recent game?
Go on.
My opponent bought Synchronoise Vaporeon for my Keldeo, which I completely forgot existed. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Thinking about it now. Like I've only ever seen it.
I feel like you live one, no?
I got crit.
Oh, you got crit. Okay. Yeah,
it may have been specs as well.
Okay, I feel specs, I'm sure.
I mean, like I never got the information.
Yeah.
The only other information I got later was that, like, I know it was like at least max HP based on like EQ damage later than Landorus, and it broke myself with Skull, which is like,
yeah.
it always can.
Yeah, that's Vaporeon. I mean, I've seen synchronized Vaporeon so often recently,
Yeah.
just in draft formats. But sometimes to very little effect. I saw it in Ubers once versus a Primal Kyogre that was clicking combat.
Oh,
So it
did it
didn't
do
do
like 12?
It didn't do much.
Yeah.
Like I kind of understand the sentiment because you don't hit that mon otherwise, but
And you can just toss it.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's like rest, right? It was interesting to witness.
Here's game 2. We
We
have
have-
an Armourouge and a Sylveon both after a Calm Mind, it seems.
Yeah. Annihilate, Dirge, and Azuma Brilliant, okay.
Sylveon into Armourouge doesn't seem too great, but it may have, like with the special defense and Calm Mind, it may be able to break through. Armourouge also doesn't have that much to hit Sylveon, like Armor Cannon is going to be its strongest move, and Sylveon is slower and can hit it back after the defense drop.
I mean, Sylveon has extreme special ability. This
Yeah.
is something I think to
But Armourouge does also learn Side Shot.
True. Sideshock would be huge here, being able to hit that. 65 Fizz Death instead of the 130 on the special side. I mean, it's just a double the base stat in its Spidef compared to its physical defense. And of course after a Calm Mind as well. Problem is, I don't think you have any coverage for this as Sylveon.
No. Yeah, either Side Shock or Sword Power. It's probably just going to power through.
Faked.
Oh, faked it. Interesting.
Okay.
I still think that the Armourouge is going to be getting too strong. I mean, we'll see.
If you don't have Psyshock, then this might get dicey. But if you have Psyshock, then this is over. You should 2-hit KO with Psyshock now. Or maybe Oppo, depending on the Sylveon spreads. But like, I don't know about 1v1, but generally Sylveons tend to be quite physically invested as far as bulk is concerned, because of the fact that its physical defense is that much weaker and its special defense just doesn't need investment.
The Sylveon really needs Shadow Ball, I think, to be able to do any decent damage to the
Ah,
Armourouge
it does
as
get
well.
that, yeah.
I do wonder if it'll be carrying it. I do think that both of like the Armourouge Ceruledge twins are fairly common. Oh, it's only
Just
Hyper Voice.
That's Throat Spray, okay.
Which isn't making much difference to the special attack after being boosted to this extent.
Okay, at this point, I have a feeling it is actually still power in this Armourouge.
Yeah, I do think
don't
so.
see what other move. I don't see it having Sight Shock, basically.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
So I think you would have used it by now.
And like not going for the fake tears again, maybe, because like once you're lowering it into negative, like they'll be just powering up their Sword Power even more if they can't mind it again. Oh wow!
Oh, that's really risky.
Yeah.
That's the recharge turn. That's game.
Yeah.
No?
I do think so. It's just faster.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, go into
I think
1-1.
Sylveon is great, but if only it wasn't Pixelate, it probably would have KO'd them.
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, in this case, Pixelate actually being a negative because of the resist that you get from being a fire type. But I think the game showcases the power of matchups.
Yeah.
So if you don't roll into a particularly good matchup, I mean, to be fair, last game it was kind of that as well, because this Great Tusk doesn't do that well into Iron Leaves because of just because of tight matchup.
So this is 2 Oxfords, so they are fighting hard in order to not lose this set.
But of course, it's best of 5, so it's best of 3. So 1-1, absolutely fine position to be in, to be honest. You can still try and claw it back. But 1v1s, yeah, it's such a flippy format, almost. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of games just decided basically lead matchup. Yeah. So I guess it's just winning the games where you're not necessarily losing on lead, where it's more even on lead.
Yeah.
And if you win those, then you're probably ahead.
I think also like sometimes it's like very clear which one has the advantage, like in the Sylveon Armourouge matchup. But like there are lots of sets which can be bought which can catch your opponent off guard, and it'd be very cool to see some of them. Like Sylveon, I think the general idea behind it is just to power through the opponent with the Pixelate Hyper Beam. And there's not really that much else it can do, having quite a limited moveset.
I mean, it's something Sylveon actually just gets away with, generally.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the few mons, this is from a Fairy Stab actually, I think Fairy Stab is just so clickable.
Yeah.
And when you have Pixelate Hyper Voice, and obviously in this case with Hyper Beam as a finisher, right? Pixelate Hyper Voice being able to A, break through substitutes, and then being an over base 100 boosted move because of Pixelate just does so much damage, even to resists. After clicking Calm Mind. I mean, I know, I was abusing this in doubles, like in doubles draft, literally just clicking Calm Mind and then Hyper Voice.
Yeah.
And just, I don't care if you're resisting or not, it just does enough damage as a spread move to you that it's fine.
Yeah, and even if they are, like, they're going to have 2 resists to not take a massive thing, and then you've got something else on the side as well. Yeah. Probably pressing a ground type move to go along with anyone. Yeah.
yeah, that's Sylvan in a nutshell. Shame, yeah. I mean, if it got Mist and Fire in this gen, definitely has a lot more threat in 1v1. But I mean, this set makes a lot of sense. Fake Tears, Calm Mind. You click one Fake Tears, and then that probably Hyper Beam's probably killing most things.
Yeah, it's a shame to match up into another Calm Mind Pokemon with the better resist.
Is Moody legal in 1v1? I'm wondering.
I think it got banned recently.
Got banned. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just thinking about Rambats, and I just had the idea of Moody Glalie and Scoburn pop up.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's as powerful as it is in other formats, but yeah, it did get banned recently, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice that they changed Moody now, so it doesn't increase evasiveness anymore.
That was absolutely ridiculous.
So it's a little bit less toxic than it used to be.
Yeah, I can't believe, didn't they allow it for like quite a while in Gen 8? Like after it got changed, yeah, it was so stupid.
So here we are. It's still a really silly ability. It's really silly. Either just straight up win you games just because you got the right stat boosts. But you know, you put your heart in the cards. Still waiting a few more games though, of course. So 1-1 to reiterate. And we're here yet again. There is a Blissey I see on my screen right now.
Gafaya is an interesting thing as well.
Yeah.
So... Yeah.
This is... Okay, I'm thinking like, what would you bring here? Because if Azumarill does pretty well into everything but Gafaya, right? Breloom beats Blissey, but doesn't seem to like...
Doesn't really do much to the other
doesn't do much to Scaladoge. I mean, I think it can beat Gafaya, because Gafaya is not that bulky, right?
Yeah, fighting moves are going to be doing a lot to it.
If this is the same Armourouge set as on the other side, as we saw in game 1. No, not game 1. Sorry, last game, but just on the other end. Then
I think it's Spot.
Has it?
Yeah, I think that's the same team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because I think Oxford's strong.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But in 1v1, I reckon Rock Tomb Balloon is pretty significant. I mean, not that it's going to do much to Skeletor because you just get KO'd in return, but that could be pretty... Like, if Balloon can live a hit and Rock Tomb Gafaya.
I'm just wondering what I would bring either side of this. I think Blissey's really risky.
Yeah, I don't think Blissey comes because it only beats Armourouge, and it might not even because Armourouge gets torn. So depending on what the Blissey set is.
There's no Terra on Dirge, so if the Azumarill comes, you're a bit screwed. I feel like Gafaya is probably like the best on balance, and then you lose to Armourouge. So.
Yeah. I mean, Gafaya is pretty good here. Like, it does threaten Balloon. Like, you could Poison Move it, you could Acrobatics it, you have Knockoff for Armourouge, which probably isn't doing that much, but at least it threatens.
The problem is you probably get KO'd back. You just get OHKO'd back by Armourouge.
Yeah, and you activate Weak Armor. Okay,
Azumarill Scaldurge.
Okay.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. We do see the Balloon Scaladoge, which maybe partially explains the Head Smash. Here.
Yeah, no, that does explain Head Smash actually. It wins that matchup, I guess. There you go, Balloon Scaladoge. That's your great Tusk answer. Yeah, no, that does actually be that set. Because there's no other coverage move that Great Tusk has available to it that would do it. But I guess I feel like you still lose that. Oh no, I guess you go first, Photosynthesis, and then you just click Head Smash. That's what you do. Yeah, okay. 80% chance. Reasonable. Because the alternative is you just get, that did nothing.
Aqua Jet's really interesting though, why not go for something else? Because like, you're never KOing with that, and like, you're getting burnt either way.
I guess the idea is, but okay, so if you go for something like Liquidation, if you're slower and you get burnt, oh no, this is not good.
No.
Okay, no, this is over actually.
Yeah, probably
because well, I mean, Dirge can slack this off.
Yeah. Yeah, Aqua Jet was a really, I really don't think that was a good decision.
Well, you know, I am I guess maybe pleasantly surprised that this Dirge being able to do this. Actually.
Yeah, it's very surprising, and we do see this is probably stopping it going through the top. So we're going to see another game after this probably. Only a Torch Song coming out though.
Okay.
Huh. I mean, maybe slack off this turn.
You have to.
I don't really see. I mean, maybe it's not carrying Hex.
Okay, it's Encore. It's Encore Will-O-Wisp. Encore Will-O-Wisp, Slack Off, Torch Song. Yeah, it's only Torch Song.
No Hex, yeah. I mean, it still beats it 1v1, I think. But...
Yeah, Encore fades, but you're faster and you Encore again. It'll still be Aquajet.
Yeah.
So you Encore now. Yeah, this is just it's guaranteed, but it'll be long. It'll be long.
Yeah.
You just have to make sure you don't miss out on any turn. So you Encore again. Yeah. You are safe to click another Torch Song, but you can just slack off this turn. Yeah. Now you can slack off. Now you have to slack off.
Yeah, Aquajet's doing little enough damage that crits aren't scary either.
Encore fades out this next turn, so now you can click Torch Song. 13%. I mean, this dies to burn in 3 turns. Or actually, maybe 2, depending on. I think it lives on 1%, but you just click Torch Song again and win. So there it is.
Yep. So this is 2-1 to Cambridge now.
Yep. One more game for Cambridge, and they'll get the win on that. Showing the power of Skeleton and 1v1s, I guess. I feel like this set is a lot harder to pull off though if you're not faster, maybe with the Encore.
Yeah, and if it was slower and Azuma would have any other move. I mean, any other move anyway would have been a difference, but I think Skeleton probably still won. Considering how little damage that all did, like
it's just full max Fizz Def Dirge, basically. With Unaware to stop any sort of setup, and then you don't care about setup. So you'll find on that front. Pretty much.
I just realised I was only really considering Azumarill to be the kind of set that it was, but in 1v1 you probably... Does it still learn Perish Song?
Yeah.
In Gen 9?
I'm pretty sure it does,
because it's like with its like pretty good defensive typing. That could be quite significant in 1v1 and would have made a quite big difference there.
The problem with Perish Song is that the way that Perish Song wins work, it depends on your speed.
Yeah.
It's not based on the caster, so in this case, if you Perish Song the Skeledirge, you lose because you're slower. So because Azumarill has that base 50 speed, it's probably not advisable to go for that type of set.
Yeah.
You do get guaranteed wins though into mons that are slower than you.
Yeah. So like Blissey, for example.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but without the ability to switch out on that last turn of Perish, it's probably not the best choice, so to speak. Sure. Potentially one more game, but again, Oxford has to basically fight for the lives.
Isn't it 2-1? So maybe 2 more games. Oh, well,
potentially one for the potentially one depending on the victor of the next one. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's really fun to see the Everton Skeledirge come out.
I mean, I'm just trying to think if it's that common in actual like ladder. I mean, it's generally just boots and ladder.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I don't think I've ever seen Everloom before. Like, I feel like Everloom just like isn't really that good an item on slow Pokemon like that.
Yeah, it's basically maybe seen it on King Gambit like once or twice.
Yeah.
Even then, you just Terra Flying nowadays.
Yeah.
I think the main use of Air Balloon has been Goldango.
Yep.
To switch into EQs. Or be able to come in on mons that would otherwise be able to EQ it.
Yeah.
And then exert pressure with Make It Rain or Shadow Ball.
Yeah. Air Balloon Aegislash was also an interesting set.
Yeah.
I mean, Steel Ghost type again. Same place we've seen, I guess.
No, it still goes typing, just that good. If there was ever a Steel Ghost, I mean to think, Aegislash was introduced Gen 6, right? And that was after the Steel nerfs.
Oh my god, yeah.
So if you imagine like a Steel Ghost coming in
only weak to ground and fire
during Gen 5, it's just as strong as Fairy Steel, actually. Pretty much. Arguably stronger though, depending on with the original resists of Steel.
Yeah, and also just like with the fighting immunity as opposed to the dark resist.
Yeah.
I mean, dark is quite a significant type now, but even so, it's just,
But yeah, now I think for most people that have played Pokemon enough, I think they would say Fairy Steel is the best type in the game. I think that's a fair statement to make. We've seen Zash and Crown do enough in last year's VGC and in general.
And we see Pokemon with like as bad stats as Tinkaton still being like suspect tested in Yu.
Yeah, no, I think out of all the tiers in Gen 9 so far, I played Yu the most.
Yeah.
Other than Rambats,
Yeah.
I've played far more Rambats than anything else. Like I'm around. I'm thinking 1980 in the ladder right now. I was about to be 2000 yesterday, but I lost the game before then. But you know, we make DLP back. Anyway, yeah, Tinkaton just basically being able to do everything it wants to in Yu, and even when Espeon and Hatterene were really common in Yu, what you had with Mold Breaker is being able to set rocks versus Magic Bounce.
Yeah.
So it had really high usage before Hatterene got banned as well, because it did so well into Hatterene.
Yeah.
But now it's still sticking with usage because it gets Knockoff, it gets Encore, it gets T-Wave, and just being able to click pretty decent stab options and play off than Gigaton Hammer.
Yeah, Gigaton Hammer is such an insane move. But yeah, here we see the Cyclops again. We've got Cambridge on the left, Oxford on the right. We see the same Armourouge as Azumarill Breloom team again, and this time Cambridge bring Iron Leaves. No, Iron Leaves was on the Oxford side before, and we see an Arcanine and a Dondozo. Dondozo has a pretty good matchup here, I think. Especially if it's, I mean, it's probably unaware, but it'd be really funny if it was like early bird into the Breloom.
I'm wondering how well it does into Breloom, because if it's Fizz Death, then it might even actually be able to eat Bullet Seeds. I'm interested in that.
Also, I just realised it doesn't get early bird. Early bird was the almost any ability thing on Dondozo, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just unaware.
Yeah.
Or it's unaware Oblivious Water Veil.
Yeah.
Which is it's just going to be unaware.
Yeah.
Let's face it. Although having said that, Water Veil in
draft
could
do some things,
could do something. Yeah. Not being able to be burnt. Although, I mean, I would just expect Rest probably, right? Rest Curse, right? Rest Curse, Sleep Talk, Water Stab.
Yeah.
I think that makes the most sense.
I think it's. Does Iron Leaves get anything to hit our move significantly? I mean, it activates Beak Armor, so.
Time to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, I could actually find out what this Iron Leaves has, right?
Because Iron Leaves, actually, is it that good into Azumarill? I'm not sure. Probably.
It has Swords Dance, Slide-Blade, Leaf-Blade, Taunt.
Certainly.
So, it can't hit the Armourouge at all. Arcanine has Snarl available.
That's impossible.
So...
Does it have any way to hit Azumarill though?
No.
No.
Aside from Will-O-Wisping it. Oh, this is Banded Dondozo with Water Veil. So speaking of Water Veil, it is here.
Banded Dondozo could... yeah.
Actually, it has Avalanche. It'll live. It should live something from. It'll live one hit from Breloom and then kill it.
Yeah.
So from how I see it is Dondozo beats. Yeah. Actually, maybe it does. Wait, does Bandit also beat Azumarill?
I think it might. It's so bulky.
Yeah. So it has Heavy Slam.
Yeah. Yeah, Heavy Slam probably is quick KO.
So I feel like Dondozo actually just wins every matchup, no?
Yeah. I mean...
You KO Armourouge.
I mean, is Armourouge Sash?
Oh, I guess if Armourouge is Sash Energy... let me have a look.
If it's Sash Energy...
Yeah,
ball,
yeah. Then that's how you actually beat that. But we saw this... Oh no, we didn't see the Armourouge come out on that team, though. We saw the Armourouge come out on a separate one. I mean, I'll find it. Unless it was this one.
I thought it was this one.
Maybe it is this one. I'll have a look.
So we've only seen Carmine and Armor Cannon in it, if it's the same one.
Yeah, it is this one. It is Trick Room, Psychic, Calm Mind, Armor Cannon.
And Weakness Policy
Weakness
is
policy.
that. Yeah, so it just dies.
Which, yeah, it just dies. Because it goes first and dies to Wave Crash, which is banded. It can't live that.
Probably, so it would be best to see the one of those that come here. I do believe.
Yeah, I think the only way is I don't know the bullet seed. I don't know the bullet seed count.
Breloom could be Spore SD.
It's not
we
sport.
see armory.
It doesn't have sport. Okay, this is
So
over.
this is pretty much just a game to Empoleon.
Okay, cool. I mean, okay, you
Psychic
even got the
crit,
psychic
only
crit.
does
It doesn't
62,
matter though.
And there we go.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was a win on lead match. Turn 1 win.
So now it's 2-2. So final game.
Is it 2-2?
I think so.
Didn't Empoleon win the last one?
Yeah, but game won the first 2.
I might be wrong. Because they've been switching sides. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If they weren't switching sides, I'd be able to like track it more consistently. But here we are. Either way, it definitely has been interesting to watch the 1v1. It's not something that I tend to see very much on Showdown.
Yeah, it's not particularly the most explored format in events like this.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see it. Definitely far better than the ESP. So, yeah.
ESP's not a format. It's just not a format. Oh god. I still do. It's just so funny looking back on BDSP as a game and people trying to defend it. I mean, here's the thing, like, if you're new to the franchise, or if you haven't played Gen 4 originally, then there's like some merit to saying, yeah, you can play through it, and it's remastered, and it's got all the quality of life of like modern Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it is, I think, objectively worse as far as gameplay is concerned to, let's say, Platinum.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make the case.
There's no post game.
Yeah.
And Platinum has like one of the best post games.
Yeah. I won't make the case of Diamond or Pearl because they have their problems.
Yeah.
But Platinum is, let's just say, the definitive Sinnoh game, right?
Yeah.
So compare it to BSP, I think is relatively fair. And also, why would you I mean, I kind of get it, but why would you remake it off of Diamond and Pearl instead of the improved version that you released afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, and like you say, unless you're new to the series, but
Yeah.
then they released Pokemon Legends Arceus like almost immediately afterwards.
Which admittedly was a pretty good game, so
Yeah.
I'm not complaining on that front. Although, pretty bad replayability, which
Yeah.
is like the one caveat, but I did enjoy playing the game, so I don't really. I'm happy with Legends Arceus,
Yeah.
is what I'll say.
I really like the Pokemon they introduced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been really fun for the game in general. Although, having said that, I mean, there are some. I think, honestly, my biggest problem is just Diaclaw.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah. I hate
Why
that
would
move.
they make this move? I haven't actually seen it screw somebody over yet,
Yeah, neither actually.
but in principle, I just don't like it.
Yeah, like I mean, like sure they introduced Covert Cloak in Generation 9 as
Yeah.
well, but then like with Poison Touch as well, like it's not stopping it completely.
Poison
It's
Touch
just on
Diaclaw
Poison
seems so. I mean, Sneasler is just a very annoying one.
Touch. Yeah,
Because you can run it with Unburden and then
it's just fast.
it's just Hawlucha Plus.
Yeah,
Because it actually has an attack stat.
Yeah.
Like Hawlucha has what, 92 attack? This thing is 130.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like you can run, and it still gets acrobatics. So when you lose your item, you still have that option even if it's non-stat.
Yeah,
And then if you're feeling like it, you can run like Endure Lychee Berry Reversal.
yeah,
Get the +1, reversal goes to some astronomical base power, and then you just click buttons.
endure protective pads. Versus
Yeah.
If you don't need the speed from Electro.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Very, very funny set. Funny mob. I mean, what is my favourite Legends Arceus? I mean, it's Zoroark just from the design perspective.
True.
But I don't know about.
I've really enjoyed using
Gameplay.
Cleave or
Yeah.
Draw. Yeah. The same one I mentioned earlier where I had the Dragonite and the Volcarona, I had a Hisuian Sneasel, and that was great. There was one game where it was basically completely able to just keep Toxic Spikes up and like threaten everything with like Poison Jab and CC, which like tried to beat it. It did so much to afford it with Poison Jab, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's surprisingly strong on that front. So. Yeah. I mean, it's also funny because it still gets it'll be interesting if it ever comes into a doubles format, because like with regular Sneasel, it has inner focus and Fake Out.
True.
But arguably a slightly less weak defensive typing.
So here's game 5, and we see the same lineup from both teams. So like we were discussing the drop before, Dondozo does seem pretty good here.
I think you have to bring Breloom though, because it's the only option that doesn't hard lose the Dondozo.
Yeah, and it still has to be Spore SD, or like maybe Banded.
Which it doesn't have Spore either, so this one's loaded dice.
Yeah.
So which admittedly loaded dice Technician I think it does kill Dozo.
Is it?
If it's hitting 5 hits, I think it should.
Yeah. Is it adamant?
Have a look. Yeah. I don't know the calc, that's the problem. I don't know if I can. I won't calc it because it may not actually happen. But yeah, it's max attack adamant. So Technician 5 hits Bullet Seed is a lot of damage. It's what, Bullet Seed's 25 base power. You add on the 12.5 from that, so it's going to what, 37.5, and you multiply that by 5 times. And this is offensive Dondozo. Even if its physical bulk is pretty astronomical, like naturally. I think Breloom with its, I mean, it's stab 130, right? So
yeah, it's really strong.
Stab 130 plus the Technician plus loaded dice. But then if you bring Breloom, you lose to the other 2 mons.
Maybe people see Arcanine.
So now
I'm not sure Azumarill will ever come, so maybe Arcanine's the play.
Yeah, this is AV Azumarill.
Yeah, that's never break.
Well, it loses. Well, I mean, the thing is, AV Azumarill. I mean, this loses to Arcanine anyway because you wisp Azumarill to 1, and then you just Morning Sun off.
Yeah, it's
the same thing as Dirge.
Yeah. Also, I wonder if Oxford didn't didn't build enough teams. I'm pretty sure they've bought this every game.
No, I've got 5 different paces. They've just decided to bring this multiple times.
Fair enough.
I don't know. They just think this is the way to go. I mean, again, this is the problem with 1v1, is that it's like, do you expect to see a different team or not?
Yeah.
Is in this case, it's like, okay, well, I bought the Dozo last game. Am I expecting you to bring a counter to the Dozo team or not? That's unfortunate.
So this is going to Cambridge then, which I do believe means that Cambridge have won Varsity Pokemon 2023.
You know, I almost feel this is rigged because we just got we got an identical repeat of last game.
No crit though.
No crit, no.
It's still pretty
But it's unwinnable.
Yeah.
You win on turn 1 with Banded Dozo clicking Wave Crash every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well done to Cambridge, I guess. 3-0. I do believe that Rambats and VGC will still be played out. Although the results of that will not affect the final result of this event. So yeah.
Congrats taking the first series 1 up already. But Rambats, this is the format I've played the most out of this gen. But this is not just Gen 9 Rambats. It is gens of all of the gens, depending on. But the first game will be Gen 9.
Hopefully, all gens except Gen 2.
Yeah, no. Gen 2 and Gen 1 Rambats is it's not fun to watch.
No,
it really isn't.
Gen 1 is like not as bad.
It's more bearable than Gen 2. But Gen 2 gets some you get either some really long games or just a lot of unavoidable things you don't really want to be playing into. I mean, I guess out of all the Rambats, I've probably the least experience of Final Four, Gen 3, Gen 4. I haven't played those Rambat metas as much as perhaps the other ones. Rambats is always fun with. I mean, one other caveat is there is no tooltip legal. This is not legal in this Varsity tournament. You cannot use the Showdown extension to automatically tell you the moves and chances of them having the moves, etc.
Yeah.
You can still use the /Rambats command because that's part of the Showdown, but no extensions. And of course, the command doesn't tell you the items. So if you want to know the items, you have to go into the calc and find them that way. So if timer is off, it's effectively the same thing, but you have to spend a lot more time finding information. Here we are, King Gambit into Jolteon. Pretty favourably for the Jolteon player here, actually. These are generally Terra Ice with Substitute. So the play here is, do you want a Volt Switch or do you want a Hard Switch? Because if you Volt Switch into Ground type, then you're losing momentum, they get to do something else. That's your turn 1 decision, really.
Do you mind pointing at you, like, at the beginning of this first game, like, quickly, yeah.
So that'll depend on this front. King Gambit, however, pretty much can tank anything Jolteon wants to throw at it and get Misty up. But you do also, you don't want the Jolteon to get momentum on you, and the King Gambit is a pretty good late game user because of a late game sweeper or cleaner or threat in general because of Supreme Overlord giving you that extra base power boost. So that's basically the dynamic on this front. Have to wait to see what else gets revealed. One other part about Randbats is basically not trying to reveal information. Sub onto the Stealth Rocks. That is a free sub, however, so I mean, it's sub CM Thunderbolt Terra Blast, if I remember correctly, on the substitute set. Yep, there goes the Calm Mind. The problem is you do get kowtowed. Ah, it's Life Orb. Okay, because it's Life Orb, you might just be able to play this game. Okay. Sure. I'm not sure if I take that trade. I guess you get 2 turns of leftovers recovery, but now you have a problem with you can get Sucker Punch this turn. So, if you get Sucker Punch this turn, then you lose the Jolteon. Yeah, you get momentum afterwards, but it's a bit awkward. Goes for the substitute, that was on the Kowtow. Really nice predict there. Does take the 3% Life Orb chip though, so Sucker Punch to finish. Just going to be a 1-for-1 trade, but for the side of Oxford, you still have the Rocks up available. I do believe it's this way around. Yeah. Okay, Taunty faster than the Bombardier. Bombardier, however, with Rocky Payload, and sometimes in Rambats, this is actually Scarfed. Scarf, HDB or Banned, I believe. With 76% up, you know that it's not Boots. It's somewhat likely to be Scarf, and as such, I will just Hard Switch the Taunt here. Yeah, Hard Switch and Hatterene, because if you get hit by Stone Edge, Terra Rock, Stone Edge, get to the crit onto Hatterenes, you just lose that monster up. Hatterene actually being a pretty good mod here. This is not faster because of these Choice Scarf, but you also are not killing it in one unless you get another Stone Edge crit, but even then I don't think we kill Palkia Origin. No, it just goes for the damage. I mean, you die in return for this. I'm not too keen on sacking the Bombardier here, but it depends on what you have left in the bag. Because if you don't have anything to actually be able to tank the Hydro Pump, then this is fine to get chip onto Palkia and then say, okay, well, I've chipped one of the bigger threats. It's fine. But to me, that sounds like Juyop is actually quite weak to the Palkia. No, just brings in Calyrex Shadow straight away. That is potentially a problem. The Dunsparce gets revealed, and that is going to pretty much be your counter for this one.
Yeah, the Dunsparce being so many levels higher, yeah, seems like, yeah.
Shadow Ball comes straight away. Hold on. Does this thing normally? I do not know. No, it's on the CM set. Yes. No, this thing does actually get Shadow Ball as part of the common set on the Dunsparce.
Were you thinking it might be Zoroark?
Yeah. But that does too little damage to Flamigo to be Zoroark anyway. Like the Calm Mind sets, I think Boom Burst, CM Roost, Shadow Ball. Rainbow and
Massive
Tornadus. Tornadus can revenge this if it's not Scarfed.
Is Flamigo often Scarfed in Rambats? I'd imagine
Scarfed,
so, yeah. It's so strong. I mean, that could be like banded damage or something. Did we see it take rocks damage earlier?
I actually don't recall.
Yeah.
But admittedly, Ultra Glyx has still got Terra available if we do so wish. They went for Heat Wave.
What Terra was it on Juyop's side?
It was Terra Bombardier, Terra Rock.
Ah, nice.
It was Scarf Bombardier to attempt to kill Tornadus, Torn switched into Hatterene, which just got the KO into Hatterene instead.
Yeah.
Then Bombardier dropped to Palkia's Hydro afterwards, but got 70% of Palkia, which is fine. There's now, I mean, your Calyrex Shadow picks it up, so this makes a lot of sense why they went for that trade, despite Bombardier doing really well as a Torn. Now the question is about how do you break the Dunsparce, because your Flamigo has taken chip, and can't really permaclick CC, which is the problem.
Dropping Mossy Pot means it could do some damage, but yeah, into Carmine.
Yeah,
it's never going to get
it. You know it's Carmine, just to Shadow Ball, that's the thing. Well, if you've played enough Gen 9 Rambats, you know that it's Carmine.
Yeah.
Or you could just click
massive
the
damage there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it really, like, the CC is going to, like, they can switch out on the CC, and then Rock Sand is going to build up. I think it really depends on what's in the back. Although, wow, Psyshock.
Okay, they actually had the Psyshock on this.
Okay, so that massively changes things.
Right, I actually haven't seen Carrot Shadow much, because it's quite rare to come across in Rambats.
But it probably carries Psyshock of its own.
Yeah, but I'm just wondering if it's specs or not.
Right.
Because if it's choice specs, then you have an issue of being locked in. So you can't lock yourself into. I mean, actually, just locking yourself into Psyshock is not a problem.
Yeah,
because everything's weakened.
Yeah.
You actually just win the game here if they don't have a resist.
Yeah.
Straight up, it's faster than everything else. Taunt's in range, Palki's in range. You get +1. So unless there is a Dark type coming out right here, I think Juyop just wins the game.
It depends what the Dark type is as well. Because plus one Draining Kiss could be doing. Yeah.
Also depends on what Terra types you have, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're faster. I guess it's a level
difference,
diff, yeah.
24, no, 14 levels higher.
Okay. I'm mistaken. Tornado's T is faster. That changes things a lot. Maybe Juyop just didn't actually look at the things, or just wanted to say that, okay, this is my best way of winning the game. Gets the Spore onto Tornadoes. Okay. It's interesting. The thing is, I still think you lose because of the it's specs taunt. So I think in most cases the Bleak Wind will actually kill.
Yeah. Right. So if it sleeps here still, wakes up. Okay. I think that's game.
Yeah. Ultra Glyx takes that. Flamigo will die to Brave Bird Recall, but it gets outsped here anyway. Yep. So.
Yeah, GG.
There it is. I guess as it turns out, keeping the Bombardier would have been pretty useful actually. But I do understand the line of play to try and get the chip onto Palkia there, because you did not have a Hydro Resist as I suspected once you sacked the Bombardier. I don't think there was a better play, to be honest. Even if you wanted to keep the Bombardier, it's just like, okay, I have no Hydro Resist, so whatever I go into is going to die. So do I want to get 70% and then die, or just switch in something and die without getting 80%?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it really did just come down to like Juyop probably not knowing that Tornadoes would be faster. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if it's faster and it doesn't have specs, I think it's fine. Because it's not always...
yeah, true. I was also surprised that Bleak Wind Storm just straight up killed. Yeah.
And, I mean, you could always go for the 20% mischance.
Yeah.
You get a 20% mischance, you win there as well. But that's sometimes just how Rambats works. Other thing about Gen 9 Rambats, I mean, not that we're going to have another Gen 9 because of the way that the Gen selection works, but you get the problem of having something like Basculege or a Houndstone coming in. But this...
Do we have information of what Gen this is? I mean, it's either 7 or 8.
Yeah, it's 7 or 8. I do not know yet.
Nope. I guess we'll find out as soon as something Dynamax is.
Yep, well, at the moment, all the information we have are 2 mons that can set up Stealth Rocks, and one of them does.
And now we have another Pokemon which can set up spikes. It decides to become immune to the Earthquake.
I'm pretty sure pretty much all Klefki sets have Magnet Rise. I mean, this is a very common move on the Mon, so... Yeah. I would never have gone for the EQ personally. If you do a Rambats command, you can find this out as well. Yeah, Iron Head is going to be a better option. But you're not going to do a significant amount of damage to it, and it is going to regen off a lot of the damage with leftovers. Although, not enough. I mean, you've got 2 layers of spikes up, that's kind of fine.
Yeah, 2 days of spikes, like, and we don't know what the team is, like, it could be really significant.
Yeah, because if this is Gen 7 rather than Gen 8, then the spikes matter a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's Gen 8.
It's Gen 8, yeah.
There's the heavy duty boots on Tomasphere, so not quite as important maybe with the spikes up, but still very relevant, especially if this Torn has knockoff. You could start knocking off some of those heavy duty boots if Mon starts switching in.
Oh well, Superpower, just the sash. I was thinking that Zeltro was going to be staying in there.
Ironhead's going to do a lot.
Yeah.
Or Stone Edge kills.
And it's faster now as well, because of the tangling hair. Yeah.
I think you preserve this. You have Regenerator, you come back at 38%, you still have Boots, so you're not taking damage from rocks.
Yeah, I think you just Ironhead, Mesprit comes in, probably gets up rocks now.
I mean, you want to kill this thing. Mesprit doesn't always carry rocks in Gen 8. Okay.
Forgot about the Levitate most likely.
Yeah, I think so. Ironhead chip there is actually somewhat relevant.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about Jamie is that he is a very prolific VGC player, and has not. I don't think he has much knowledge of Pokemon outside of it, which is a shame. But yeah, he's still a very good player.
Okay, Heracross. This is Scoffed. No? Actually, no, sometimes it does. I actually should outspeed Mesprit just barely.
Yeah.
It's either the same or just barely. Because of the levels, Heracross is what, 85, Mesprit's base 80? Yeah, outspeeds. Yeah, it's Guts, yeah. Yeah, I think Heracross is either Guts or Scarf in Gen 8.
Yeah.
Someone comes in, you know, it's not Scarf.
That's not Hurricane. Yeah.
Or you can go for U-turn if you want momentum.
Yeah, true.
Again, I don't know what it's carrying, but just off of this, both of those options are good.
Do you reckon Heat Wave kills Heracross in this range? Could predict a Steel type switching in, but it's probably unnecessary.
I don't think so.
No.
Just level diff. You're not your Boots.
True, yeah.
I think it's close. It might be a roll, but I don't think it kills Heracross.
No.
Like, there's a lot of things in Rambat just across the gens that you think, okay, well, you know, this is a pretty historically powerful move.
U-turn on the
Something has to
stay
switch into this now.
Takes Facade easily, but not going to take a fighting move on the next turn. I don't think Torn can switch into it either.
I mean, you can take the risk with Torn. So Torn just U-turn back out, so it can actually take a CC. That's what they're banking on.
It's going to do a lot though. Yeah, 51. But I guess after another regen, it'll be back at 50. So.
I mean, now Heat Wave will kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why you preserved Tornadus earlier. They have the Regirock of their own.
The Regirock Ditto.
Taking a lot from Spikes, however.
But avoiding the
You
Hurricane.
can U-turn on this Fury.
Yeah. Yeah, never superpower there.
Regirock with its base 200 defense will be absolutely fine on that.
Oh, the double.
This is a fun set.
Yeah, this thing's a beast in Rambaz.
It gets completely walled by Ghost type though.
Yeah.
That's the only problem. It's Cotton Guard, Rest, Body Press, Sleep Talk. That's a double set. I think it's the only set it can have. And it doesn't always have Fluffy. That's what changes. It can sometimes have Bulletproof, or sometimes has Fluffy. Judging by the Body Press damage, I don't think it's got Fluffy.
Neither.
Which is unfortunate because it would have been nice to have looking into the Heracross and the Regirock, but yeah, here we are. That is a mon that can probably break through this because you're boosting Fizz Death. Togekiss will slash flinch you down.
Yeah, so Rhyperior on the Thunderwave immunity. Yeah, I was thinking that Togekiss might have been nasty plot as well, but it doesn't seem like it is. Back into Regirock. Oh, Rock Polish.
Yeah, it's weakness policy.
Yeah.
This is Jenna, remember Dynamax is legal.
Oh wow, oh no. This is quite scary then, I think.
Yeah, unless the players have decided to just gentlemen's no Dynamax.
Oh yeah, that was an option, I think. Yeah.
It's either that or there is a Dynamax Rhyperior about to basically sweep sweep Juyop's team.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like normally you'd just have to bank on a Stone Edge miss, but with Dynamax that's not gonna be happening.
There's solid
hardly
rock,
any damage
there's
in
the
this
weakness policy. Yeah, to be fair, there's no need to Dynamax this turn anyway, because you live and you want to actually get the boost.
Yeah, Earthquake probably did significantly less than Body Press there, so that was an interesting decision.
Debatably, you could have gone for a second polish, because some mons will still outspeed Rhyperior.
Yeah,
after
Rhyperior
one
is so
polish.
slow.
But if Heracross has come back in, then I think it's just doomed. What's next? Men's no Intimidate, it's Moxie.
So either we're going to see a Dynamax here, or just a Stone Edge.
There's the
Yeah,
Dynamax.
and this is not gonna
Has the returns, the Max Rocketry. I think it just drops. Crit may have mattered
Yeah,
actually.
especially-
that's good.
It may have mattered, but with anything in response to like no physical move would care, and only if it was carrying like Hydro Pump. But then there's the special defense boost.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't think there was any way of saving that.
no. So that's 2
Even if you max Quake, you don't kill.
No.
Seemed like you had no resist, no answer to the RP. This is like one of the most powerful sets in Gen 8 Rambats from what I remember playing of Gen 8 Rambats, just being able to basically get +2/+2, getting a shell smash basically on Rhyperior without that much drawback. So
Yeah.
you put Dynamax on top of that.
Yeah, and it's like Dynamax on top of that with its ability as well, like taking less super effective moves.
Yeah, because all you could do is you can click Dynamax in front of super effective moves as well.
Yeah.
And get a very similar effect if you just fire off an attack, let's say. If you haven't Polished, but Polish is part of the threat of that set, being able to go so fast.
Yeah.
On a traditionally very, very slow mon.
It's game 3 now. Kabutops Pikachu lead.
I imagine they're just going down the gens at this point.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess it's Gen 7.
Yeah, it's more likely 7 than 6. Probably just going to see an electric move from the Pikachu here. Probably just a switch from the Kabutops. I don't imagine there's any reason for it to go for anything, unless it's like Sash Rocks. Yes.
And Pikachus also do get Fake Out if they want to go for that.
That's true. But I don't really see the point of going
There's
for that
no
here.
need.
No. I just Volt Switch her. If it has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably Fake Out E-Speed Volt Switch. Like Surf, Grass Knot, something like that.
Yeah, so I know that's basically the Gen 9 sets. I don't know if they've changed them across generations for Pikachu. But
Kabutops is probably like Rapid Spin, Waterfall, Stone Edge, Aqua Jet, maybe Superpower.
Swords Dance maybe. Depends.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Maybe there's a manual rain setter at some point in there for the Swift Swim, but I don't know.
Kabutops is one of my favourite Pokemon. I'm not really sure why. So, community.
That's always the problem with Volt Switching turn 1.
Yeah, true.
It's that balance between, okay, I get a bunch of free momentum off of turn 1, or I get punished for it because they have a particular mon that answers me.
Plusle probably doesn't have much potential to punish, especially if the Pikachu is an electric community of its own though. Although in earlier gens isn't that incompatible with Fake Out E-Speed. I think it has to be static.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, at +2 and level 89. Oh, that might. Ooh. Oh. No. Okay, I never thought I'd say this, but that Plusle looks extremely scary.
Yeah, oh no, the Pikachu is immune. So I don't think these mice can touch. Oh, Hidden Power. Probably Ice.
Plusle faster.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
What is Plusle's base speed? It's like 92 or something, right? So it's close.
No.
Because Pikachu's base
It's
90.
yeah, it's base 90.
And Plusle's a lower level. Thunderbolt 83% to the Torkoal. Honestly.
Oh, it's 95.
Oh wow, yeah.
That makes sense. Hold on, Plusle Sweep?
It's probably faster. I mean, yeah, it's faster, yeah.
Because you beat Pikachu, you're not scared about.
Oh, it's Scarf.
It's Scarf. Sad.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
There's so much potential. Now Pikachu's freed up too. You can now start Volt Switching depending on if Geop doesn't have a ground type or not.
Yeah. So yeah, probably something, like anything coming in here which can take an EQ and like either set up or get some momentum in return probably.
Yeah, Geop in need of basically being able to take this game.
Oh, Scarf is so nice, that's so sad. I wanted to see a Plusle Sweep so bad.
It's unfortunate. Okay, same decision. Seems like apparently it's really hard to switch into the Instant. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
You do know it's scarfed. I guess it's scarfed into EQ, so you don't want to go into. Oh.
Interesting. Maybe a bulk up coming here. This is a tricky situation. Like I think they just they switch. Okay.
This has to be a bulk up, no?
Yeah. And then, I mean, Oh wow, rock move. Yeah.
Technician Rock too.
Yeah, it's very strong. And now this thing's really scary, but Greninja is fast and easily threatens out with a Dark Pulse.
Or a Z move.
Or
in
a
this
Z
case.
move.
Hydro Vortex. 2%.
Oh, it lives!
No! 60 picks of a kill. Well,
Wow,
going.
that was so greedy.
Trading 1 for 2. Alright, well, Intin is still something in the back. That is a very favourable matchup for Lucario.
Lucario into Pikachu seems like an Ash team. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it actually does, doesn't it? Mega Lucario as well. That's an Uber's level threat right there.
No fake out.
No fake out, which is how you can only go into Incineroar, which gives Geop pretty easy choice.
Yeah, this is probably game for Geoc considering this is now choiced.
Depends on what Freemon's in the back. If they are somehow all weak to Incineroar,
Yeah.
okay, well, yeah, you should be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Flebus will do a lot of damage, but not enough. Oh no, the burn! Pregnant Blitz, no, Super Sky Drake. Okay.
Yeah.
The burn matters so much.
It could carry Facade, but it is slower, so.
Okay,
But
so
no, like 2 mons, 30%,
Oh,
4%. Yeah, no, this is a game. This
yeah.
is Mega as well, because of the level.
Oh, well, you click the Mega button, you click Diamond Storm.
Yeah. To be honest, you don't even need to Mega.
True.
May as well.
Actually, this turn you probably don't need to. Actually,
No.
I think you have to. Actually, no, it depends. I don't think you have the coverage. Yeah. Oh yeah, short Earth power covers for both. Okay. That is game. Geop finally takes a win.
Yep. So 1 more win for Oxford should bring this round to them.
Yeah,
And
it would.
Geop to-
Although, having said that, given the results so far, even if Oxford takes this one,
Yeah.
it doesn't actually make a difference.
No, just for fun at this point.
Yeah. And then we still have BGC after this series as well.
Yeah, I guess it is. There is still also like worth playing for the fact that like losing 3-2 instead of 5-0.
Yeah, it's playing
Yeah.
for pride, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Gen 6 most likely. Well,
Assuming.
yeah, based on the sprites. Is that a new Persian sprite?
Yeah, it's a new Persian sprite from Gen 9. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they just take the same 3D sprites even for older gens. It's just when you start getting to Gen 5 and below, it goes back to the 2D ones.
Yeah. Actually, way better.
I actually don't mind the 3D ones after Gen 6.
But, I like the Gen 9 ones a lot more. Like, I don't know, for some reason in game they just look better.
They've done a really good job on something like the evolutions in particular. I
True,
think have been really nice to look at.
Have you seen the new Mewtwo sprite?
I must have at some point.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Anyway, there's the Persian 1v1ing the floats will lead.
I should do because I've played Uber's Draft and I've seen U2, so.
Yeah. Wow, this Persian swing is so much work. And then the U-turn as well.
Yeah, it's just a shame that Persian just doesn't have the base stats in regular play that it comparatively does in Rambats.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Oxford having a really good set of Pokemon at the beginning of this game. But Entei can probably take any hit from Cypher here and definitely carry it back to the Sacred Fire.
Cypher's best played for is the U-turn out on the Entei.
Yeah,
It has
no.
U-turn.
But U-turn's also unlikely, yeah, when it comes to Trakion.
That
Which
is
burn
not
would be...
a switch.
Oh, that's... yeah,
Never punished.
no.
So risky to switch in a Terrakion onto an Entei, even if you do have that resist there, but okay. Stone Edge probably coming out. There it is. Yeah,
Damage,
it does
but
not doesn't
quick hit.
you
Back
can
into
recover it
Cypher.
off. So if it gets set up, but you can't set up into Entei, so what's the plan?
Maybe we see a double? No.
Knockoff is fine too. Okay, choice
Yeah.
bound. But you're risking another 50% burn if you go back into Terrakion.
Yeah, especially if there's nothing better.
Well, if you're happy taking that is what I say, but I feel like okay, you have another mon that doesn't mind doing this. Altaria also having natural cure.
Yep. So
Um,
this is not Mega, so
yeah.
either way it's not making a difference. Yeah, Altaria really can't touch Deoxys at all.
Yeah, it seems like Taunt is your best way of beating this thing, but or you need status of some variety.
The Altaria could be carrying Toxic. Like it doesn't really have any. It doesn't really have 4 better moves. So
I mean, at least on ladder, often DoDs carry Taunt to be able to stop opposing Toxic, which I imagine transfers over to Rambats in Gen 6, but Altaria is actually faster, so you get the Toxic off from this, and that does allow you to be able to start dealing with them on.
Outrage.
Oh wow, okay, we really want it gone. You are locked into this for at least another turn. Goes for it again.
Staying in makes sense, I think.
Cover. Give a turn 2 confusion. You do have natural cure, so you can get rid of this Toxic when you want.
I kind of expect a double switch here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Resetting Toxic times mostly.
Probably a fake out, and I'm not sure what the Entei's plan is. I would switch out if I was them. Yeah, I wouldn't want damage on the Entei.
This is gradually putting you into Cypher range, I think.
Yeah.
That's the key. That without band, it's not killing.
No.
Okay. It will. The next one will kill.
Yeah. I guess Persian was a little bit scary, but I wouldn't have done that. Entei seems so good here.
Stone edging time.
With Deoxys, like with Toxic and like chips, it's not the best switching. I think it is actually Twit Hero from the range it's at now.
Yeah, most likely. Goes for EQ for the safe play for the accuracy.
Do you want me have something on their team which can outspeed and kill Strakion? Deoxys defense was the switch in before, so maybe like something which wouldn't be able to switch in essentially. Otherwise, this could be quite scary.
Does this have Moody in this gen?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's Mega.
No, it's Mega. Goodbye.
Oh, it's a shame. Another one of my favourite Pokemon down very easily. Although Cabotops did put in wild last game, so... Yeah, no, Terrakion looks pretty much unstoppable here. Which is probably the Rambat set to Oxford, unless something happens.
Yeah, sub means Toxic isn't happening. Oh yeah, this is not it. So I even toss this fixed damage anyway, so you don't really care about the drops. You probably just click the Stone Edge again. Okay, I'm gonna go for the sub, but
I think sub is less damage than Seismic class, right?
Yeah, it is. I think it is. Plus the you're stalling them out of Toxic.
Yeah.
And now you click an offensive move.
Yeah, you can just EQ here probably. Yeah. Don't think it mattered.
While you've been getting the juicy leftovers chip, you just see Terrakion may have just had a team that just got completely soloed by Terrakion.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ultra Glights won the 50-50 early on with the Sacred Fire burn, but yeah, no.
No, if you got the Sacred Fire burn, this game would be very different.
Absolutely.
This track is not doing any damage. Without Lever, there it is.
So yeah, that's the Rambat set to Oxford. So it's taking the score to 3-1.
For all, pretty valiant effort there. Finally being able to win a series over Cambridge. Got one more to play for if they want to play for Pride and at least make it a 3-2.
So the final set we have is VGC Series 3, I believe, and it will be Adam versus Luca of Oxford, which should be happening quite soon.
Yeah. People that don't know VGC, 44, you bring 6 mons on your team, but you bring 4 to the actual game itself. Best of 3, and it's open team sheet, so they are aware of moves and terra typing. That's just the way that works. It's how the current regulation is. Regulation C includes the Ruin Pokemon, which is the difference from Series 2, which only had the paradoxes. So Chien-Pao, Chi-Yu, Wo-Chen, and Pinglu are allowed.
Yeah, we've seen the beginning of the official events for this regulation have started. seems a very interesting thing. I've been hearing stories of Stealth Rock Ting-Lu being played quite a lot, which is not the most common thing in doubles. But yeah, unsurprisingly, Pokemon like Chi-Yu and Chien-Pao have been very, very strong, and we're seeing them like just as often as Pokemon like Flutter Mane in these teams. So we're expecting to see them on both sides, to be honest.
Yep, good offensive Pokemon that also reduce the defenses, physical and special, of opposing, and the one on your team too, but the important part is being able to just say, okay, well, now my partner Mon also does more damage as well.
Yeah, pairing Chi-Yu with other strong special attackers is like ridiculous. But yeah.
I mean, what I'm interested in is when restricted formats come out and then we start pairing things like Chi-Yu with Calyrex Shadow.
Wow, no,
or
Kyogre.
And when you just have Specs Calyrex Shadow firing off Astral Barrages.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, at the very least, they nerfed Zash in this generation, so maybe it's a bit less broken with Chien-Pao.
What's is Origin Pulse and Precipice Blades have pass over generations, right? They haven't been removed yet.
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, those with them.
Unless I don't know if they're in the data or not though, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But if they are in the data, oh boy.
Yeah.
That's not it.
But yeah, Astral Barrage and Glacial Lance are definitely going to be the strongest spread moves to pair with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, these Pokemon are very, very strong, and we're probably going to see them put in a lot of these games.
I don't know, another fun thing with Ting-Lu is I've seen it just trying to click Fissure.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, Okomu's like around decent amount in VGC right now. Starting because of like Dondozo.
Dondozo, yeah. There's originally like people using Fissure Dondozo for like Dondozo mirrors, I think. Yeah. And then now we have Fissure Ting-Lu because the thing just sits on the board.
Yeah.
As it does in singles as well, it just has astronomical bulk but doesn't necessarily do that much.
Yeah.
It sets hazards in singles, obviously.
Yeah, and its ground and dark type moves are pretty threatening off his 110 base attack. But yeah, one thing like if we're talking about the rune Pokemon, Wo-Chen in doubles is so much stronger than it is in singles. In singles, Wo-Chen literally just sits there. It can't even set hazards like Ting-Lu does. It's not strong. Whereas in doubles, it's like its ability is just really powerful.
I mean, just being able to actually has some support moves if I recall correctly. It gets Pollen Puff.
Yeah.
I think most significantly out of all of its moves,
yeah.
Being able to heal allies. Ruination, Leech Seed, pretty much just on the bulky side of things. But I think if you match it up versus other mons that are around right now, it's probably not the best thing to be playing.
Yeah.
But we like Wo-Chen for the fun. I think it's been that sort of like become a fan favorite ever since those reaction memes came through.
Yeah, I think it's also got a really good matchup into Palafin, which is one of the best Pokemon in the format right now. Yeah,
not only reducing its attack with your ability, but also resisting its stab typing.
Yeah, and also threatening it when it's in its like level 4.
Yeah. I mean, Giga Drain will do a very big chunk to it as a result. I mean, the one big thing about Wo-Chen compared to Ting-Lu is that it's not fast, but it's not actually that slow. It's got like this weird like middling speed tier.
Yeah, Ting-Lu's base speed is like 45.
45, yeah.
You know, I think although it was incredibly impressive in singles, having Flutter Mane in this format where the Rune Pokemon is so strong is probably a good thing. Being able to throw off its like strong dazzling gleams to stop them from just like sitting around forever.
Yeah, Flutter Mane also being able to play a part in Perish Trap teams with access to Perish Song. Perish Trap having been a pretty good archetype actually in Series 2 with the addition of pretty much just Flutter Mane and Screamtail being the big offenders there, two Paradox mons that like to use the move.
Yeah, they're both so fast, so they can get off very easily.
Yeah, that's the difference because like Gothitelle was around in Series 1, but Perish Trap just wasn't actually that viable.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have very good Perish Song users to come with it.
Yeah. What would have been used before Screamtail?
You would have had obviously Miss Magius.
Oh yeah. It's only 1 of 5 speed.
Azumarill, which is not fast.
No.
Wigglytuff, which is not a
not good. No.
I'm trying to remember what else has Perish Song that actually exists in Gen 9. Lapras doesn't exist.
Houndstone?
Houndstone doesn't get it.
Does it not?
You know, this is where we break out Showdown to find out the team builder. But here we are.
Although the games have started.
Speaking
and it looks like we have
Perish
Trap.
Yeah. Murkrow is one actually that can use it as
yeah.
well. So yeah, no, Murkrow actually probably was the best user in Series 1. But
yeah. because of its ability.
I mean, Murkrow is just really good in the Gen 9 VGC formats in general. With Tailwind access, the only Prankster Tailwind, and well, one of two Prankster Tailwind, priority Tailwind users, if you count Talonflame, but Gale Wings is a little bit more dicey.
So we see the Chi Fluttermane Lee making Fluttermane's special attacks absolutely insane. And Murkrow with its Prankster support, potentially throwing off a Tailwind here to allow their Chi-Yu to outspeed the Chi and the Fluttermane on this side.
Yeah, that is the problem with the Prankster on the Murkrow here, is that ability to be able to just say, okay, well now my team's faster. Although most of these misreverses are Sash. I mean, we actually do have the open team sheets though, because each player will actually know what the items are on each side.
I think the Fluttermane on the Perish track team is pretty much guaranteed to be Sash. But yeah, we see the Tailwind and a Dark Pulse onto Fluttermane, which actually lives on 11. Despite...
Oh no, the flinch!
The flinch is so unfortunate.
Oh, that's huge here. You get a knockout onto something, most likely.
Yeah, knockout onto Murkrow would have been so useful. I can't actually see Chi-Yu's health bar, but I think it did really lot. Oh, but we see a Protect on the Fluttermane next turn.
It's Life Orb Fluttermane, so we know that now.
Yeah. So we see the Protect on the Fluttermane and the Heat Wave taking out the Murkrow, bringing down the Chi-Yu even further. And now we see the... this seems about right.
Miss Drevis coming out from Luca.
Yeah.
This is Sash, however.
Yeah.
Although I don't think you really want to go for a trap right now. It's probably better off that you just go for KOs with the board state that you're currently on.
Yeah, I do think so. And like with Chi-Yu not being able to take you out.
Tailwind available, Moonblast Heat Wave just wins, no? Okay, I guess Moonblast. Are you choiced? Are you choice specs Chi-Yu?
I think they're both choice, based on that interaction. And the Chi-Yu on the opposing side, on Luca's team, is still holding on.
Adam's Chi-Yu is scoffed, and Luca's is...
These turns are going so quickly. We see the Terra Ground on the Excalibur, but being double targeted down, it gets knocked out, and Heatwave still not knocking out the opposing Chi-Yu.
Alright.
Isn't looking great for Adam.
I imagine this is Shadow Sneak on this I'll just bring this up into the same thing, and it's easy to actually look between. Doesn't have Shadow Sneak, but it does have Wide Guard. Which is not actually relevant here because this Chi-Yu is locked into Dark Pulse.
Yep. What's its item?
It is Safety Goggles.
I see.
Which, unfortunately, is completely useless in this matchup.
Heatwave not knocking out the Fluttermane, and that
this is over.
Laid down. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, normally you'd say information in game one, but I don't think with Open Team Sheet available you really gained much more information about EV spreads this game.
Yeah,
I don't think there was anything particularly atypical about spreads that I think you could glean to make adaptations for the next game without the knowledge you already have, except for just, well, you played the game now, so you kind of have an idea of what not to do in one way or another.
Yeah, that Dark Pulse flinch is really unfortunate, but I do think that once the opposing Fluttermane came in, the situation was actually very similar.
Yeah.
Like, with the Tailwind up, they were just able to throw off moves which were threatening Adam's team. So maybe we'll see him adjust his lead this time to account for Murkrow Chi-Yu.
That's part of it. I think maybe they were just expecting to actually deal with the trap this time around rather than just the offensive mode, which is part of the benefit of being able to play these trap teams like this, is that you do have that option as well. Because obviously Murkrow gets trapped too, so there's a nice little raw compression onto his team. I also don't think I'd expect to... trying to think about the best onto this Chi-Yu right now. It's probably just your own Chi-Yu.
Yeah.
Maybe Gastrodon, but Gastrodon doesn't really appreciate a Dark Pulse, especially since that's Specs Chi-Yu on the other side, and your Chi-Yu is scoffed.
Gallade can threaten a KO on it. Yeah. And like, I think it can live any hit from full because it's got quite good Spadef.
Yeah, 110 Spadef means it's actually fine enough. It just can't live the hit from Fluttermane. No. Which is a problem. So
Gallade would be good into the same lead as before, but may not be into others. We see Corviknight.
Okay.
Into a Shadow Tide Gothitelle.
Okay, they are currently being trapped by a Tingly that is able to throw off attacks of this.
Yeah, Tinglu really is not nice for that Chi-Yu right now.
Bear in mind, Gothitelle does have access to Fake Out as well, and this is a Scarf Chi-Yu. So being able to throw a Fake Out into the Chi-Yu slot is, at least if you do it, you're guaranteed to make sure that nothing from that slot actually deals damage to you, even if they go for the even if they go for the switch out. So I think that was fairly obvious.
But yeah, the Terra Grass to take probably an Earthquake. Oh, Stomping Tantrum. Oh yeah, Earthquake.
Will hit
It's
the
your ally. But yeah, no, that did very little damage to the Chi-Yu there, and now it's threatening. Probably pressing Dark Pulse.
Yeah, most likely. It won't do a huge amount, to be honest.
No, because of the Vessel of Ruin.
yeah.
But
Because, between Vessel of Ruin and the...
I can't see what type that is.
Oh, that does a lot more than I thought it actually would. That's actually going to knock out the... there's a Steel type on Tinglu. It's actually going to knock out the 1%.
Oh.
That is unfortunate. I'm actually very surprised that took that much from Gothitelle, so I think that Gothitelle is actually Fizz Death.
Yeah.
Based off of that.
Yeah, I have to agree. Yeah, this Chi-Yu just gets to throw off a Dark Pulse here. Don't think it has any use the rest of this game in 1%.
Yeah, you throw it from the move.
Yeah, honestly, Intinctly with them is fine because damage on Tinglu is probably useful.
It's either you go for a flinch plus damage onto Tinglu, or you get more damage onto guard.
Well, Tinglu is classified, so it's gonna be.
Oh,
doing
actually,
the right damage.
it's Dark. Yeah, actually, should do a decent amount. Yeah. It's probably better off that you put it into Tinglu with the.
Oh, they do. He opts to switch out. Iron Head is decent damage. Oh, yeah. Okay, quite a lot happened that turn.
What happened was an Iron Head flinch, basically screwing over Lucario's team right here.
Yeah.
Getting off Assault Cure onto the Corviknight here would have been really nice to get that chip damage, and actually basically means so much because now the guard just goes down to 3. You do get a return kill onto Fluttermane.
I think this is fine though because Chi-Yu comes in with fire moves now.
Yeah, I think that's the whole reason for preserving the Chi-Yu there, so you actually have the fire move access for this.
Although Fluttermane is faster and can KO it.
So basically...
Oh no, it's Scarfed. Chi-Yu is Scarfed.
Oh, Chi-Yu's Scarfed. But Chi-Yu can't kill Fluttermane in 1 because of the Spadef.
No,
So you have...
But Iron Head and Heatwave should KO it. Because, the Fluttermane is sashed anyway.
It's true, yeah. I mean... It'll die to a double with the Iron Head. But... Fluttermane still goes first.
No, Chi-Yu's Scarf.
Oh no, sorry, yeah, but at least it goes before the Corviknight.
Yeah.
So it can get off a Shadow Ball before it drops. Or it protects.
Yeah, you see it protects. But Heatwave... Oh, Overheat.
That is a huge miss, but they had the flinches on the other side, so it's only fair, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why they didn't Heatwave there though. Maybe it didn't kill Tinglu.
Yeah, probably didn't kill Tinglu.
But it's a Chi-Yu, it's so strong.
Okay, now your problem is how do you kill Tinglu? Because it has to be Terra Ground Backs. Terra Ground Backs EQ seems like the only play to me, but the problem is...
They've already terrored though.
Oh, they terrored the Chi-Yu into grass. Yeah. Now you have a problem with Fluttermane sashed and just beats your backs.
Yeah,
it's over.
You just get KO'd by Moonblast, right?
I don't see a way out here.
The only way... It is Assault Vest though. I think it... I'm not sure, it's probably close.
Wait, what did he go for? Oh, Tailwind.
Oh, Parrot. I don't understand that.
You're slower. You have a Merker, I guess. Right? No, you don't, because you've revealed everything. So you've Goth.
Why was it slower? Was it? It's not Scarf that's Calibers. I swear it was AV on the team sheet.
It has to be Scarf, no? There's AV on the team sheet. Wait, is this... Huh?
Maybe because there's no EV. No way back Excalibur even outspeeds 0 speed.
I'm really confused.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why it went first. I mean, it didn't make a difference because they opted to Perish Song and not Moonblast there.
I don't know how this. Oh, Tailwind.
Oh,
Tailwind's
yeah.
up. Forgot Tailwind. Was
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
But yeah, that brings it to 1-1 now. Yeah, that was a scary end to the game, but with with that one turn with the Ruination miss and the Iron Head flinch was pretty huge.
Paris Song was just very confusing to me because I think you just have to, even with AV, I think you just have to opt for the kills onto the onto backs because there's 2 turns of Tailwind, right?
Yeah.
You click Moonblast turn 1, then you protect the next turn, you stall out Tailwind.
Yeah, and they got 1 Moonblast off and it did 49, so it probably was a roll to 2.
Yeah, so it's a roll to 2 KO, that's probably the only out because if they get if they just get more damage on you, then you lose. So the Paris Storm doesn't do anything because you lose anyway if you get perished. If Tinglu is the only thing left.
Yeah, I think these teams are quite evenly balanced.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the lead is definitely the most significant part of this matchup.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it comes down to lead a lot. You can get momentum of that, I think.
So yeah, this is the final game of Varsity Pokemon 2023. So the double Chi-Yu lead.
Double Chi-Yu, double Tailwind, double Bird, double... I mean, they're both Corvids, so...
Yeah. Yeah, Terrify I think makes sense there because every massive is still
you can match Tailwind now.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what you want to do. Yep. Only problem is you'd have to use this Terra on the Corv.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it carries Roost, I'll check. Unlikely. No, it does. It does carry Roost.
Probably seeing the opposing Chi-Yu switch out here, although it does take hits from both of them reasonably well. For the overheat, I see. Yeah.
Okay. This does allow it to kill the bird now, and will not be able to get a Roost off as a result.
But now it is stuck at -2 special attack.
Yeah.
Gallade, maybe? No, that's me.
Okay. Do we know anything about this Tinglu? Is the Tinglu... Tinglu is AV. I guess they'd probably be able to recognise that actually, so doubling into...
Oh, Heatwave burn.
10% burn! That's so sad. Power Gem knocking out Chi-Yu.
Something I shouldn't yet. I mean, it wouldn't
burn,
have
I think,
cleared
wins the
anyway.
game,
That burn
honestly.
was absolutely massive. Because, like, Chi-Yu's still having the health of Flotomane now, unless this Flotomane is carrying Power Gem as well.
You have one more mon in the back.
Yeah.
I think you basically have to try and get a kill this turn. There's like some protect shit going on with the in the online games basically. Yeah. But the issue is the heat wave. So the burn is so problematic. Look at this.
Yeah, it's
64%. Like you kill this Flotomane otherwise.
It's enormous. Both Tailwinds swing out, but it doesn't change much.
Is this a Flotomane speed time? 236. 188.
Yeah,
No, it's not speed
Chi-Yu
time.
surviving Moonblast still there.
No, but it survives the Snarl as well from top of this, so... Okay. What we do know, though, is that...
I think Tinglu's dead too.
Adam's Flotomane is slower. Guaranteed.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm not sure if they actually have information on that, but it is guaranteed slower.
Oh, the Snarl miss on the Flotomane.
So... You pick your KO, basically. Yeah, no, you probably have to KO the Flotomane, actually. Come to think about it. Flotomane attacks into Flotomane, and then you pick that up if they don't protect. They went for a double protect. I don't think that was your out.
Neither.
Yeah. Because you're faster than their Flotomane. I think maybe they just didn't know about the speeds there.
Yeah,
they
the
thought it was
EVs
a
aren't on the
tie.
speed.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, like getting the double protect is just a lower chance than speed
Then
tie.
speed tie, I think.
But yeah,
So-
no. Yeah, anyway, well played to Adam. That's 2-1 in the VGC set. So a 4-1 result overall to Cambridge.
Yeah.
So Cambridge is the victor for another year in a row. So yeah, well done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, we saw a lot of really good play today. A lot of interesting sets. Yeah, it was really enjoyable, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good fun, and I think we enjoyed actually being able to watch through the games. So
Yeah, no.
yeah,
It was a nice opportunity.
and I guess here's the next year for whenever the segment comes through.
Yeah.
But I think just waiting on a few little bits and bobs, but should be going into the next game shortly.
Which should be Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So yeah, I hope you stick around for that.
Either way, hello everyone, my name is Connie, and alongside us today, of course, is Cambridge, the winners of the Pokémon tournament, and it's going to be Redo, my friend. So how you doing?
Yeah, doing great.
Now, you're the MVP. It's quite a privileged honour as well in this prestigious varsity tournament. But I want to get to sort of know, how did you find your match today in general, and sort of how's the feel for it?
Yeah, no, my opponent played really well, especially game one. I was very, basically I kind of came in like quite, expecting the game to go relatively straightforward and stuff, but no, he threw in a lot of spanners in the works, and I really felt quite, I was actually behind at the start of the first game, but then somehow I came back and we managed to win game one. Then game two, I felt like I had a pretty decent game plan going into it, kind of set up the hazards at the start, wanted their Cinderace to bait the court change, and that gave me a free turn to set up a Dragon Dance on the back Excalibur and just sweep the game from there. And yeah, so from then I think that game plan, to me at least, it felt like a quite stable and quite foolproof. So it worked out very well.
I love it as well, and I kind of wanted to go into detail as well as to how long Pokemon has been involved in the Oxford-Cambridge tournament. So in terms of this varsity, it really comes down to how long has Pokemon been around for, and even more like what more can you tell me about previous winners and just the strongest people coming into today, because I really want to get to know.
Yeah, so I guess with the terms of the history of Pokemon in varsity, we've had it for about 3 years now, or this is the third year. First year, so 2 years ago, we had it as a scored event. Last year we did not. It was more part of the charity event, but this year it's back in the scoreboards. So that's in terms of the history. In terms of who's been winning, 2 years ago Oxford did win, but last year we rolled them. So this year we are happily we also beat them again. So it's 2-1 to us at the moment. But yeah, that's so it's always been a decent rivalry between us.
And I'll ask you just one more question as well, and it's very sweet and short. What is your favourite Pokemon?
What is my favourite Pokemon, did you ask? So that's the thing, I don't really have one. It's like a top 5. But if I were to pick one, just shall I give you a list? Okay. So I'd say if I were to pick a top 5, I'd say Infernape, Lokix the Goat, Azumarill, Dracozolt, and my final was probably Aegislash, just because it's such a very cool design, both battle-wise and just normal design-wise.
Thank you very much there from Redo, of course, and now we're going to conclude Pokemon there. Coming up, of course, it's going to be Smash Bros. We'll see you very soon after a quick short break, and don't go anywhere. It's going to be exciting.